Hello, everybody, and welcome to this very special one-shot. We are going to be playing with the incredible supplement Hidden Folk of the Feywild, because I think a lot of us were brought to this world of swords and sorcery through our love of folklore, but just like the tales of the Grimm brothers got watered down through Disney, sometimes the tales of the fair folk got a little changed, a little different, and it is a wonderful privilege to go back to those origin stories, those roots, and have some fun playing there. So I'm going to hand it over to our incredible DM, Neil. Take us away.
Hello there, folks. My name's Neil. My pronouns are he, him, and welcome to tonight's faith-filled team of fun. I am the creator of Hidden Folk of the Feywild. Most of you may know me from my other game, Feyearth, which is a TTRPG set in an alternate 19th century Earth where all the creatures from folklore and fairy tale are real and have always lived openly alongside humanity. So let's just say I know a little bit about European folklore. And I have taken that knowledge and turned it into a wonderful bestiary for 5th edition Dungeons and Dragons, full of obscure fae and magical creatures that you can now bring straight to your game from stories that were told for generations across Europe. And tonight we are going to meet some of those creatures with our lovely players. So I guess before we start, we should introduce ourselves, okay? In no random order, Stella.
Hello, I'm Stelluna on Twitch, Stelluna TV on all other social media. Today I'm going to be playing Buttercup. Do you want us to tell about our characters now or later?
Yeah,
okay.
A little bit.
Just a little bit. So Buttercup is a Harengon barbarian who has had entanglements with Fey magic. They are part of a particular procession that they have unfortunately lost track of. And we'll see what happens moving forward.
They also have a wonderful animal companion.
Oh, yes. So Buttercup has a small creature, which might look something like a rabbit, but there is something strange and something wild about them. They have these ornate horns and these pair of wings. They are a Volpertinger.
Which you can also find in Hidden Folk of the Feywild. Okay. Next up, Lilith.
So hi, I'm Lilith, she, her. I am really happy to be here. A big fan of folklore and avid TTRPG player and AP player. Today I'm going to be playing Isolde, or Isolde. And Isolde is a Pact of the Archfey. Yes, Pact of the Archfey. Pact of the Chain Warlock with an Archfey patron. Specifically an ice fairy from French folklore, who happens to also be Isolde's godmother. So there's a bit of nonsense going on there. And I'm very excited to be playing Isolde because she is on a mission for her fairy godmother, which is how she gets her fantastically icy powers. And Pact of the Chain, I have a Snow Flurry spirit as my familiar. It looks like a lynx, but as if it was made out of snow.
Okay. And Anne, you want to tell us a little bit about your character for tonight?
I would love to. I am going to be portraying Lily. So Lily is a singer, a performer, an artist of the dirge and all the melancholy tunes, but with a heart of gold who's never done anything wrong. Don't be put off by her funeral attire and the fact that she has black hair that trails on the ground behind her. That is all part of the aesthetic. And if there are perhaps some folklore creatures out there that enjoy a good tune, a good little song on the moors, then maybe there's some blood relation there. But who's to say, truly? Nobody knows. But of course, like all performers, I am a bard.
Okay, so without further ado, let us get started. So you trio of adventurers have been exploring and adventuring for a long time. making money, kicking down doors, taking names, and so forth. You have just arrived in a fairly quaint little village called Wilmix, okay? It's kind of late in the evening, and you are in the pub. Of course you are. You're in the local inn, the Velvet Swan. Just sat down enjoying a drink. Fairly simple place. The innkeeper, this pretty friendly looking chap called Marcus Bellamy, who, when you came in, immediately wanted to know everything about you, was interested in all the gossip. And you do make quite an interesting trio, but with your colorful visages and your colorful animal companions. Okay, so you're in here for literally just a couple of minutes. You're maybe halfway through your pint, and you're halfway through your dinners when you see three men walk in the front door of the inn. They're wearing some sort of military or city guard uniform, tabards, looking around, and the place goes a little bit quiet. Marcus leans over to you. He's like, but they've been coming here every day for the last 2-3 days. Oh, might be getting a job out of this. They seem to be looking for adventuring folk, and well, you look fairly adventurous. He's looking for a job.
It's always useful when a job falls in your lap.
As you're saying that, one of the men, who appears to be the captain of the trio, walks up to the three of you and says, "Good evening. How are we all doing?"
Oh, we're all right. We're just enjoying some beverages.
You're not from around here, no?
I would say so.
No.
You wouldn't by any chance be adventurers, would you?
No, I think you've got the wrong people.
Oh,
We're totally not adventurers.
that's a bloody shame. I thought, with the, and he points at your snow spirit and
Sarcasm.
points at. Oh, I'm sorry. Pardon.
We have been on an adventure or 2 or 10, 20.
So, and he kind of looks around and he kind of comes in a bit close and says, "Right, I work for the local Baron, Baron Regis Lanworthy. And, well, there's been a bit of a problem in the barony. And his lordship doesn't want anyone to know, but that's why he's been asking me to see if might be lucky and have some outsiders who would not be prone to gossip that might come and talk to us about it's a very simple, very small, very easy job, and there'd be gold in it for you all, of course. If that would be of interest to the three of you lovely folk."
Is Mr. Landworthy alive?
Oh, he's alive. Yes, he is. Hale and hearty.
Oh,
No,
well,
no offense, Lily. It would be a bit difficult for him to pay if he was not.
Oh,
I have not
absolutely.
found that to be the case. But, by all means, I suppose we can take this sort of living currency. It could be fine.
It could help
This-
with your career.
I could use some new lighting equipment.
The captain is looking a bit confused by your turn of phrase there. He says, so if you could just finish up your drinks and we'll just be over here." And he seems to be a little bit freaked out, possibly by Lily. And we'll just, whenever you lovely folks are ready, we'll just be right over here. Yeah.
Can I insight check him?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, listen, Lily is used to having people be incredibly unnerved by her presence.
Yes.
But I want to know, are they unnerved because she's talking about the dead? Are they unnerved because she has hair that trails on the floor? Or are they unnerved because my friends have cool weapons? Like, this is what I'm going for.
Fair enough.
I rolled a 21.
Yeah, you're pretty certain that he's freaked out by the weirdo goth vibe thing that's going on with you and the whole dead thing. While he did glance at Buttercup's impressive weapon, he's it's you and your whole demeanor that's kind of unsettling him.
Lily turns back to the table and is like, "This man fears his mortality."
Oh,
Don't most of them?
Some more than others. We can use that to get more money.
Ooh. I like how you think.
you're so clever, Lily. Why don't you let them know that we're interested?
All right. But not too interested. We don't want to give all our bargaining chips up front.
Right.
Play hard to get.
Yes.
I do really need the coin. Whiskers here has he already chewed through 2 of my spare backpacks. And
Not
I'm
again.
wrestling with the Volpertinger, who's quite aggressive, though fluffy and
Yeah.
lively.
Marcus sees this and he's like, "I'll be back in just 1 second, love." And he runs into the back and he comes out a minute later carrying a large purple carrot. And he hands it to you.
My eyes go wide and sparkly as I behold this strange and elusive carrot. Oh. For me?
Well, I was, oh, I should have gotten 2, as he kind of realizes that the tiny rabbit is being held by a bigger rabbit. And he runs back into the kitchen and he comes back out a minute later, now with 3 carrots, which he hands to you.
Buttercup is beaming and she immediately cracks it in half with her bare hands. And as she does, you can see her arms are quite muscular, just like thickly roped. And then she begins to feed the creature, leaning over to Lily. I think we should take the job. They might have more carrots.
Marcus
think
leans in as you're whispering this, and he says, "Honestly, the Baron, he's an arrogant piece of work, but he's from a very old family, and he loves to tell everybody about how rich and important he is. So, while I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him, if he's looking for people, and they seem to be looking for outsiders, something's probably happened, and he doesn't want any gossip, which means you could probably charge him some more."
Arrogant pieces of work do work like that, yeah.
Lily is going to swing her hair over to make like a barrier between her and the guy, between her and this man, so that it's just the party on the side of all this hair. And be like, "All right. They want discretion, which means it's likely illegal, and that's fine with me. But we should definitely ask for extra carrots. By the way, Buttercup," and I'm going to prestidigitation on your carrot to add your favorite flavorings to it.
You see like this essence of butter and cinnamon beginning to like drip down the side of it. Oh, thanks, Lily.
I mean, aren't the illegal jobs the most fun ones anyway? And Iso takes a drag off of a very slender pipe, and not your usual pipe. And when she blows the smoke back out, it's sort of like a puff of fresh snow.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not normal smoke. It's like icy particles like you see on a cold day, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
So cool.
So
My mother always said that the road to the stage was lined with crimes and corpses. I think this is our path forwards. Okay.
Your mother
back
is
to-
wise.
So you head over to the captain of the guard, you finish your drinks, finish up your food. Buttercup, you're still feeding Whiskers a carrot as he's clutched under your arm.
I'm a professional at this point. I can feed and walk at the same time.
100%. Absolutely, yes. And now that Whiskers has food, they've settled down. They're no longer squirming as much, because when they want it, they are very fast. Lightning fast. So you head over to the captain of the guard. Look, and he says, "So, you'll come with me to the barony?"
Yes, we will. We'll come with a walk for a walk at least, but I do think we might need some payment up front.
I think so too.
I don't know anything about the money.
Do you
I'm
have
very
more
sorry.
carrots?
I'm sure there's carrots in the estate. But
Do you have an extra canvas pack we can have?
Or
he's,
2.
he's looking really confused now.
Your
And
cloak, that seems like a nice, thick, chewable fabric. Can I have that as the initial payment up front?
and he unclasps his cloak. It's really more of a cape, but then
Mhm.
handing it to you,
Thank
looking
you.
confused, but also still a little bit unsettled by the creepy goth girl who was talking about dead people and stuff. So
I tie it up like a balloon animal. Like I make it into like a shape, and then I give it to Whiskers as a toy to play with.
super. Okay. So
Here you go. All right.
coming out of the village, or sorry, coming out of the inn into the main street of the village, he starts leading you east along the road, and you can see off home a little over a kilometer in the distance this very large estate house that's up on a slight elevation, a hill. So there's a main road that leads from the village directly up to this estate. It's surrounded by large walls, like 3-story high walls. It looks to be pretty old. As you like, it takes about, I don't know, 10-15 minutes to get up there. And as you're getting up towards the gates, there's some other guards at the gates, but as soon as they see the captain, they immediately open and let you in. Okay, coming into the main grounds, you can see what you would expect for a building like this: a very wide, very beautiful, somewhat over manicured, you might say, garden with various topiaries and a long avenue that winds its way to the front of the estate. And as you all get closer, can the three of you each give me a perception roll, please?
Yes.
Perception.
Oh, that's a natural 1. A 6.
Where's my perception?
I rolled a 28.
Oh my god.
21.
I
Bard.
imagine Buttercup is just fussing over juggling the toy and the Volpertinger and just not looking around.
So I'm going to say, Lily and Isolde, you both noticed as you're coming closer to the structure, this is a very, very fine, very grand building. But you can see it's in a slight state of disrepair. Definitely could do with some maintenance work, and yeah, like, it still looks grand, but you reckon in its day, maybe 50 or 100 years ago, it was more impressive. That some of the stonework is crapping, some of the plaster has chipped away. You can see where some of the guttering is leaking. There's a gargoyle that is precipitously hanging off the ledge of one corner of the eaves, and yeah, like, you definitely getting the vibe of old money with an emphasis on old.
I am rather concerned about the prospect of payment looking at this.
I think I know that gargoyle.
You do?
Perhaps. Jeremy? I don't think so.
It's his name, Jeremy?
Of course not.
Okay.
Don't be absurd.
I don't know.
Whiskers, come on.
So going up some steps, you get to a very grand big door, and the captain pushes the door open, leading you into a very, very fine, large foyer. Okay, it's quite wide, like 10 foot across, goes on for about 30-40 feet out into a larger open space, and you see a grand stairway, and you see just a little bit off this man. He's wearing similar colors to the uniform of the captain, but it's a different cut. It's the clothing of a household staff member. Okay, this man, however, he looks to be in his early 60s, quite tall, very lean, with a long face and very sharp features, curly grey hair, and he has this really kind of stern, reserved look, standing there, almost perfectly still. But then, as you enter in, his eyes turn, not even his head, just his eyes, and then he turns perfectly spinning on his heel and goes off into one of the side rooms. A moment later, you hear footsteps as you're being led toward into the foyer. As coming out of one of the side rooms, you see two men. One in his early 50s, the other in his mid 20s. The man in his early 50s, he is of average height and build, with dark black hair, with streaks of grey, and a well-maintained beard that also has streaks of grey in it. He looks like he's a fairly good-looking guy. All right, like, he's in his slightly older years, but pretty good looking. But he's wearing the finest of clothes, satins and silks, and he's got this beautiful, deep red, rich overcoat, and then surcoat, and then underneath that, this rich blue, looks to be maybe a silk shirt with like gold and silver thread everywhere. And as he's walking, his body is just exuding arrogance.
Can I soutenir Monsieur le Baron?
You say this out as he's coming to you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. He doesn't immediately respond. The man beside him, as I said, he's in his mid-20s, quite athletic, fairly handsome looking, sandy blonde hair, blue eyes, and a pretty strong jawline, okay? He's also extremely well dressed, wearing darker, rich colored clothes, but it's more like it's a mixture of wools and silks over the satins that the Baron is wearing, but clearly still of wealth as well. And as the men come towards you, and the butler guy, he's walking just behind the two of them as they come, and the captain says, "My Lord Baron, I've brought these three adventurers to."
Hello.
Oh,
Whiskers.
the
Poor
Baron just,
adventurers.
he stands there and he slowly gives you all an up and a down, really slowly. Says,
Lily maintains so much eye contact. Like so much.
Yeah.
It's like smiling.
Similarly, Isolde is less. She maintains the eye contact, but there's like the snobbishness of like, oh, I can out arrogant you.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Buttercup is just squirming, feeling entirely underdressed and outclassed here.
I am Baron Lanworthy. Welcome to my family estate. Reginald, shall you bring drinks into the drawing room? He says, gesturing to the man behind him as he leads you off to another very, very fine-looking room. As you're led into, this is a very nice room. It's probably like maybe 20 by 30 feet, so it's big enough, okay? It's got some really fancy furniture, okay? You're looking at some really fancy chaise lounge and couches, some very, very pairs of very, very fine high-backed chairs with leather covering, pointing towards a fireplace. Off beside a very large bay window, there's a fine writing desk, and in one corner you see a pianoforte, and along the walls is a mixture of wood paneling and some bookcases. So this place it's exuding wealth, okay? As he gestures towards some couches, and there's a small little, what looks to be a very, very expensive, exquisitely made rosewood coffee table in front of the couches. Says, please sit down. Reginald will be in a minute with some drinks for us all.
Might I ask, are there any family portraits around the room?
Yeah, so you do see two. One, which is on the wall to the immediate right when you walked in. It's an old portrait. You reckon it's probably at least 100, 150 years old. Obviously, one of this man's ancestors. There's a definite family resemblance, but they're not like twins or anything. And then across over the fireplace is this grand painting of a woman who looks to be in her maybe early to mid 40s. From her style of dress, you reckon that this painting was done probably somewhere between 50 to 80 years ago. And she's just very haughty looking, with a similar arrogance to the Baron, looking almost seeming to look down her nose at you through the canvas.
Is there a Madame la Baroness?
No, actually. And when you say that, he The two men glance at each other with a kind of a uncomfortable look.
Isolde pulls a little, like the dance cards, tiny little notebook out of her pocket and just like writes something down.
I think it's
Um,
about here that Buttercup is just so nervous and out of place that she sneezes. Just a phew. And as she sneezes, I would like to use magical awareness as her magic sort of like leaks out of her unintentionally. And I open myself to the presence of concentrated magic. Are there any magical items within 60 feet of me that is not behind total cover?
No, you're not the only magic that you might be picking off is from your friends. There's no enchanted items in this room, and the two noblemen are not giving off a whiff of arcane power whatsoever. Okay,
Sorry about that.
and the younger nobleman says, "Oh, it's perfectly fine. Allergies?
Nerves.
Allergique to merde.
No. You have nothing to be nervous about, my dear. We just we have a somewhat delicate matter that we and the baron is like, and the younger nobleman was like, yes, we have a somewhat delicate matter that we need some help with. You see, you asked about a baroness.
Hmm.
There is not a baroness, but there is a betrothed,
Oh,
and that is why we need some help. You see.
wedding
Pulls the notebook
preparation?
back out and scratches something out.
So you see, my betrothed, and the younger nobleman says, "Yes, my sister Kendra. Yes, Kendra Marlowe of the Marlows. She was here in the estate with me. We were getting to know one another as we discussed the formal arrangements of a marriage. These matters are a bit more complex than the common folk. You must understand when it's ancient and noble, wealthy families that are forming a union. It's
But of course, I have a better match for you. But of course, sure.
He looks at you and he raises an eyebrow, which I am doing under my mask. um, and the other noble says, "Yes, but you must." And the baron just waves at the noble, the other young man. Yes. So anyway, 3 days ago, 3 or 4, I can't remember. A few days ago, we all got up and we discovered that my betrothed, Kendra, was missing. Was taken in her sleep and whisked away.
Are you sure she was taken and did not just leave of her own accord?
We are certain of this. You must understand that there is a forest very near here, and you did see a very big, ominous, quite old, primordial-looking forest as you were passing through the area. And you know it's called the Shadow Oak or the Dark Glen or something. You don't really know this area that well. Okay, there's a very large forest near here, the Shadowvale Forest, and there were quite a number of magical creatures, fey creatures there. You see, I am certain that Kendra, my beloved, who loves me dearly and who I love dearly and was very excited to be married into my ancient and noble family, was kidnapped by an evil, hideous fey creature against her will.
And
How
you're convinced
romantic.
the creature is hideous. Why?
Because it's fey!
Okay, rude.
Technically Fae.
And
Like-
Lily's just gonna kind of put like an arm in
Like-
front and be like,
Like, really rude. Like, no. On se calme.
Oh.
Everyone knows all those fey are evil and hideous hag-like creatures.
yes, of
Oh,
course.
are they?
We all know that. We all know
Just
that.
sadly chewing on a carrot.
Isolde turns to the Snow Flurry Spirit and goes, Neige, which is the Snow Flurry Spirit's name, and suddenly there are piles of snow that start appearing around the room.
As you're doing that, the household manager or butler, whichever he is, he's come in carrying a tray with a number of very, very fine crystalware glasses with some sort of beverage in it. And as he sees them, he's like, "Oh no, the rugs!" As he races over, puts the tray down on the coffee table and starts trying to shoo away your familiar and trying to like brush the snow off of the rug that's on the floor.
You're just gonna make it worse.
And the Baron is like, "Oh, look, so we are looking for able-bodied people." You can see he's about to say men and then caught himself. People. And we will pay you a fair sum of
A fair
100
sum.
100 gold each if you will go into the Shadow Vale and retrieve my beloved and reunite her with me so that we can say our holy vows of matrimony and our loving union will be one.
100 gold
Oh.
each for a woman who would be miserable with you?
Aesop, please. I think we should make a deal, and we should shake on it. 100 gold each, and of course some carrots up front, and we will bring Kendra home. We will go into the wood, and we will find your betrothed, and we will bring her to her home.
I think 100 gold is a little bit under our price range, no? We're going after the hag, terrifying Fae, after all.
Of course. A beautiful damsel whisked off to the forest where the Fae live to dance and frolic. Of course, it's devastating. Was she wearing a gown? Was it a billowing gown? Was it a misty morning?
I heard the younger nobles.
I think it was a
It
steep.
actually was quite. It was quite a thick fog. Now that you say this, that morning when I discovered my sister was missing. Yes, how did you know?
Ah, that dressing. How incredible. This is wonderful. Yes, so as my colleague here was saying, 100 gold each, plus the carrots, plus I'd say another 100 up front. Because heaven forbid, of course, that we are whisked away by these Fey creatures, brought to their lands to see their beautiful courts, to dance in front of the nobles, to sing our songs and be heard by the generations stretching back and forth in eternity. How dreadful. 100 up front.
Give me a persuasion roll.
I would love to. You're not going to believe what my persuasion modifier is.
I am terrified to think what your persuasion modifier is.
I rolled a 21.
You must have rolled really bad.
Yeah, on the die, I rolled an 8.
Oh.
Oh my god.
I have plus 13 to persuasion.
Is it possible to help here, or is it too late?
With
by
that
all means.
roll, I don't think you need any help. So you can see the Baron is like, look, he's being a bit put out by this, and then the young gnome says, "Well, of course, we will have the money." And he says, "Baron, please, I will obviously assist with this." And yeah, the Baron is somewhat placated by that. It's kind of, you can definitely see that there's like ego going on here in that he's obviously not liking the fact that you have tried to haggle with him for more money, but also equally doesn't like the fact that this younger noble is like, "Oh, I have the money, don't worry about it, it's just money." So yeah,
It's just money.
And carrots.
And carrots, yes, that's very important. How many carrots do you need, Buttercup?
2 for the road.
Okay.
Reginald, can you please get some carrots and tubers for the bunny rabbit?
Buttercup for Whiskers. Yes, wonderful.
Thank you.
The butler runs off and he comes back a minute later carrying a small basket, and there is 6 carrots, a small turnip, and some parsnips.
Just throws them in the bag. Gonna need those later.
Okay. Super. So The younger noble says, "If you'll excuse me one moment, I'll be back momentarily." And he leaves, and like literally less than 2 minutes later, he's back carrying a small pouch. It says 100 gold up front for each of you, and he hands the pouch to Lily because you were the one who was doing most of the talking. And yeah, you don't even need to count. You can feel, okay, this is heavy. There's a fair bit of coin in this.
I think Lily holds it like it's distasteful.
Yeah.
I think she finds this kind of exchange crude, but hands it to Isa, who will, I think, be much better, probably handles our finances.
I
Absolutely.
was gonna say, if you handed
it
it
to me.
to Buttercup,
No,
Buttercup
no,
would
no.
immediately hand it to Isolt too.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, super. So yeah, you leave, and
And Isolt full on like weighs the. It's like, okay.
I mean, you could count it, but you're like, this is a fair bit. And you got the vibe that the younger nobleman, he seemed to be a bit nicer, you know. So yeah. But anyway, so heading back out, the captain is still standing at the front door waiting for you all. And as you come out, the Baron says, "Lead them to the entrance of the forest." And
May I, as the noble hands me the coin, whisper to him, "How about you? Are you single?"
this is to the younger noble. I'm currently not courting anybody. No.
Booklet comes back out. And your name?
My name. My name is Kevin Marlowe.
Okay. Merci.
I feel like Lily just kind of like drifts by. I think her skirt is so long and her hair is so long, and she has a way of walking, so it looks like she's just like hovering. She is walking, but I think as she walks by, she goes, "Kevin, never give out your name so freely. Goodbye."
He's looking very confused by this.
I promise I am going to take good care of it.
Oh, okay. Right. So the captain, he leads you all, and he's being kind of quiet. It's kind of awkward. You can tell, like, on the one hand, he seems like he'd naturally want to talk to you all, but he's intimidated by Lily mostly, and a little bit by Isolt too.
Okay, I feel like in the, the like, looks like a cinnamon bun could kill you, looks like they could kill you is a cinnamon bun, like diorama. I feel like Buttercup is the looks like a cinnamon bun could kill you.
100%.
Lily looks like they could kill you is a cinnamon bun, and Isa is looks like it could kill you could kill you.
Absolutely.
Absolutely, yeah.
The only party balance I need.
As you are walking along, the captain says, "You all just be aware. The forest is very magical. There are lots of fae and other magical creatures that live in it.
And mushroom circles?
I don't know. I've never been inside.
And gnarled oaks that seem to stretch to the sky.
Lily dear,
And paths that lead to
don't
nowhere.
anticipate.
We don't
finish.
we don't go into the Shadowvale Forest
Why not?
Oh,
because it's full of fae.
Is that a bad thing?
Powerful magical fae creatures. We're just normal humans. We don't have any magic.
Oh, that's so sad.
Not having magic does not mean you cannot have some fun in the Feywild.
It's true.
I don't know. My grandmother did tell me a story once of a younger man from the village, going back a few generations, who fell in love with some fairy princess and was never seen again.
of course. You perished terribly.
No, it's a good thing. Eloping. That they don't have to go back to their family.
No. Your grandmother was wise. You should never go to the Feywild.
Okay, well,
You specifically.
I won't. And at this stage, you're getting near the edge of this forest. And I said, it's an ancient primordial forest. You see these massive oak trees. And I mean massive, like the trunks are like 1.5 meters wide kind of thing. You know, they're like 4 stories high, huge, ancient oaks. with a dense understory as well of hawthorns and cherries and apples and other smaller trees going through. You see scatterings of wildflowers, and he's led you to what looks to be something of a wider trail. It's not like a road going into the forest. It's like, here you go. Best of luck. I hope you don't die. It was very nice meeting you all.
Thank you
Here.
for guiding us.
He reaches into his pockets, into his folds, and he pulls out what looks like almost looks like a tiny miniature horseshoe. And he says, here, this might help. And he hands it to Buttercup.
Oh. Is this to eat?
No, it's a piece of iron.
No, it
Some
doesn't
of
have
the Fae,
ditties.
some of the Fae don't like iron.
Oh. Okay. And I
You
turn
can-
to Isolt and I offer it to Isolt.
Good plan.
Okay. Goodbye.
Bye.
Over.
Say bye, Whiskers. And grabs Whiskers' paw. Whiskers like has these like massive fangs and it's just like kind of like drooling at the mouth a little bit.
Yes. Right. So yeah, you start making your way into the forest. Okay. So it's as I say, it's a pretty dense. Like it's if you've ever had the opportunity to be in an ancient forest, like when you step into them, it's like you're stepping into another world. That just the shadows from the canopies just over you, like the very air just feels different, and that's exactly what it feels like to you all as you start walking into the forest.
I would like to ritual cast if we can take 10 in worlds to have me ritual cast Phantom Steed.
Sure.
But I would like to summon. Go ahead.
10 minutes is plenty for me to smoke. It's good.
Yeah.
Okay, smoke
Yeah.
break.
Buttercup will go
Perfect.
around and ask the flowers, "Can I pick you?" And then just wait and then pick flowers. And then just wait by Lily as Lily is casting this ritual.
So Lily, what does your steed look like?
It is a gargantuan, and when I say very, in D&D terms, it is large. So she big, but a big black shaggy dog with like
Okay.
the sort of like long hair that kind of emulates Lily's long black hair and just like glowing eyes. And there is no saddle, but it's very easy to like ride upon. And I think Lily hops up side saddle and then pulls out a book to read, but will wave Buttercup and Isolt over if they want to get on the dog as well.
Buttercup will offer
Yeah.
a hand to Isolt and help Isolt up. Very deceptively strong for a small frame.
Merci.
And then just boing, hop on.
Okay. So you are all on top of this massive black hound, right? As it starts to gently lope through the forest. As you are going along,
Isolt sits side saddle on it.
yes, of course. It does feel like you are being watched. It feels like the very trees have eyes. You get this vibe that you are not on your own. Okay. What are people's passive perception?
15.
Passive perception. 17.
20?
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay, no.
I'm sorry, y'all. High-level bards are buck wild in terms of their stats. Like, it is out of control, frankly.
Yeah, even with that, you do not see. You suddenly you're walking, loping along on the back, or on the back of this massive hound. You tiny voice at the back. Like, whoa, we haven't had visitors in here for, I don't know, probably 6 or 7 generations.
What was that?
Looking behind you, you see this tiny, and I mean tiny creature. It's about the size of an adult human's hand. Okay,
Oh.
but bipedal, covered in black fur with these tiny horns protruding from its head. And it has a mostly humanoid head, but with a pig-like snout and duck's feet as it's just sitting on the back of the dog.
Isolt leads in to like have a better look at it. Almost, she doesn't need glasses, but almost like she was using them. Like,
Yeah.
Hello, little one. And Lily is going to reach into her satchel. And I think, okay, so Lily has all sorts of gifts prepared at all times, like little tiny fruit cakes. And because of her personality, they're always like wrapped up with like a sort of like lace or organza or something in a ribbon. And so she is going to look at this little friend and present them with like a tiny fruit cake and say, a gift given with nothing expected in return.
And he kind of sniffing at it with his pig-like snout and taking it in his tiny hands. Like, this cake is, because he's so tiny, this cake is like half the size of him. Okay. As I said,
It's like the smallest cake she had, but it's still so
but it's
big.
still, like, his entire body is the size of a male man's palm. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
he's,
yeah.
and he says, "Wow," and he takes a little bit. Ooh, honey in this. This is nice.
Isolde has earrings that look like snow crystals. Unfortunately, I couldn't find mine. But yes, the character has them. And so she pulls slightly on one of them and goes, Marraine, so godmother, do you know what this is? Have you heard of this before?
So let me think. What would this be? I guess this would be just give me what would this be? A charisma roll, I guess, to try and connect with your patron. That sound good to people?
Yeah.
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 Just give me a charisma roll.
Charisma. Roll not saving throw, yeah? That is a 14.
14 total. Okay. Okay. This gives me a chance to give some lore. The DC was higher, but I don't care.
I found you a potential suitor.
Yeah. Oh, you hear this voice, this grandmother's voice in your ears. Like, really? Wow. Oh, it's one of them. That, my dear, is called an anchutka. They can be quite trickstery, they're terrible pranksters. If he invites you to bathe in a hot spring sauna, don't.
Fair enough.
It's a thing they like to do. They lure people deep into the forests and they'll show them these natural hot spring saunas, inviting them to bathe in them so that they will fall asleep and be killed by the heat.
Charming. And pulls out the little notebook. And promise the name, Kevin? Kevin, what was it, Welter?
Interesting. Okay, well...
Young and handsome, you would like.
Well, is he virile? Is he strong? Is he athletic looking?
Certainly. He's also noble. Noble stock.
Oh, very nice.
Mm-hmm.
We might discuss this later.
Yeah.
So, you're traveling along for a bit more, and as you're noticing the temperature seems to be dropping a little bit. It's getting a little bit colder. It's not like snow or anything, but it's getting noticeably colder. And after about 10-15 minutes of this, the deer trail that you're on opens up into a large glen. And you see in the middle of the glen this beautiful, pristine pool of water, a large pond. It's about 2 meters across. And there is steam rising from the pond as the anchutka says, well, oh, look where we've ended up. Actually, it has gone a bit chilly. This is a lovely spring. It has magical, rejuvenating qualities. If you wanted to take a rest in it, I guarantee you would feel so much better.
I like the cold. I'm okay. The cold doesn't bother me anyway.
I think I might have met your grandmother.
Maybe.
What about the two of you?
I guess I could dip my toes into it.
And like I tap on your shoulder and I'm like,
No. No toe. Nope. No, thank you.
I'll give you an extra cloak if you're cold.
Looking over at Lily.
I think Lily is kind of like looking at the spring and then just like, I'm sorry, this is silk.
Amazing.
We are here looking for someone, though. Have you seen a maiden in a gown when it was foggy? And what was the rest, Lily?
The betrothed of the Baron, a woman named Kendra, she was whisked away in the night to this dark wood. It was a beautiful, misty eve when she was taken from her slumber to join the Fae here.
There's lots of maidens in gowns in this forest. It's full of them.
Where?
He didn't give us a very precise description, did he?
No, he didn't at all. No.
That's gonna be a tough one.
It might be her.
I mean, based off the description, Lily could be her. I mean, we don't know anything.
I'm sorry, my dears. I mean, I'm assuming that this fair maiden was not Fae. They were a human or an elf or a.
We're assuming
would
human, but only a few days ago.
Yeah, you're the first. I was going to say humans and miscellaneous, pointing at Buttercup, and then pointing at. Never mind. You're the first strangers I've seen in a while. But oh well. If you're not going to join me for a bath, and he jumps off the off the dog, waddles over on his little duck feet to the pond, and pops in, and emerges a moment later, kind of floating on his back, munching away at the honey cake that he was given by Lily.
Enjoy the bath.
Wait, if I were a fair maiden fleeing my betrothed or perhaps being whisked away, where would I go in these dark woods?
Give me a persuasion roll.
Oh, yes,
I would love it. No, I'm asking the floaty guy. I
Yeah.
also feel like here's how I'd like to enhance the persuasion roll is that I'm gonna use prestidigitation to make a sensory effect where just like the slightest warm breeze, so that when he's floating he gets to kind of like move around like if he was on like an actual little like a duck floaty.
Right.
Okay, I need you to know this. So I rolled a natural 20 and then I have plus 13, so I rolled a 33.
Buttercup is just
Wow.
like watching you wide-eyed, starstruck.
I would just,
Isolde would be loath to admit it, but she's kind of starstruck too.
just keep heading deeper. Head towards the center of the forest. If there's anything, it'll be there. All right.
Okay.
And are there any rules of this wood we should know? Anything that we can do if we do or do not want to be whisked away to another realm?
I mean, with that 33 persuasion roll, the creature says, yes. Don't give people your real name. If anybody asks you for your name, lie.
Obvious.
Oh, okay.
Names of power amongst my kind.
Kevin should know that. All right. This is excellent advice, little one. We appreciate your help.
Okay. Well,
Thank
All
you,
the best.
guardian of the forest.
I'm not a guardian of the forest.
Oh, okay.
We thought you might be.
No.
Okay. As we walk away, Lily's gonna lean in towards Buttercup and be like, "We gotta lay off the thanking people, all
Oh.
right? If someone is strange and small, you keep those things on the inside. You can say that you appreciate them. You can say that you are grateful. But be careful about thanking them.
Hmm.
Right.
It's okay. I was incredibly persuasive to that small creature. I don't think it'll be an issue."
Yeah, you have good advice. I don't want to get lost in the Feywild again.
Right. So you continue along the path for another while. You notice that actually there's you notice now a stream that you can hear not too far away from you in the trees, flowing in the same general direction that you were all flowing in. Okay, and as you're continuing along for a bit more, it's getting a bit later. You've arrived quite early in the town, so it's after midday now. You reckon it's probably sometime around 1:30 or 2, between your bit of food and then going up to the barony and then coming to the forest. Okay, as you walking along, you find the deer path widens out again into another glade, another glen type area, very similar to the last one, also with a beautiful pond in the center. But this pond is much, much bigger, okay? And quite lovely. You can see there's a whole host of beautiful wildflowers around the edges of it, as well as long reed grasses too. And you can see numerous lily pads all floating around with some frogs hopping off them. The movement in the water suggesting there's probably some fish in the water too. And in the center of this large pond, you see on one of the lily pads what looks to be some sort of a small package. Okay. And it actually looks like, so this is something that you guys would be aware of, that the highborn in society, they use ravens to send messages, okay? And the messages would all be carried. They'd be in these very, very small leather scroll cases, like very small, okay? Because they're being carried by ravens, okay? And that have this distinctive brass kind of seal, like as a latch, and it looks like one of those right in the middle of the pond.
So, as we're coming up on all of this, Buttercup will jump off of the dog, the hound, and we'll go waddling over towards some wildflowers and say, "Oh, I haven't gotten these ones." And as she's like bending down to start to speak with them, she sneezes, and will accidentally set off another magical awareness. Are there
This
any?
way.
Are there any magical items within 60 feet of us?
There are no magical items within 60 feet of you, but you actually, with that sneeze, are getting the general kind of low level, because this is the first time you've done this since entering the forest, like a low level energy of magic all around you.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
What are Isolt and Lily doing?
I'm going
As-
to send Nej out to the lily pond, and wherever the little snow lynx steps, little bursts of ice come out,
Yep.
so it's walking on the water,
Okay.
and have it basically try to identify the thing, and as much as possible, if it can go with smell or hearings without touching.
So it's basically walking on the water, forming ice. Yeah.
Cool.
So cool.
That's
What?
cool.
What's Lily doing?
I think Lily, seeing that he's also got this handled, is going to kind of go sit by, well, not literally sit. I don't think I would wrinkle my dress in that way, but crouch next to Buttercup, and then basically like pick flowers for Buttercup, and then immediately druidcraft a replacement flower, so that it's like that you're able to collect them.
So this is what happens. As Buttercup and Lily are sitting, reaching down by the flowers, you smell the fragrance of them reaching your noses, and it gets stronger and stronger. And as it does, you start feeling drowsy. I need both of you to give me Constitution saving throws.
Oh,
Oh no.
it
Uh-oh.
smells so
Oh no.
heavy.
Oh,
I
no.
rolled a 16.
Oh no.
I rolled a
okay.
3. You found the stat I don't have. You found the one I don't have. Oh no. Oh no.
Oh.
Guys, I'm cooked. The DM knows my secrets.
Okay. So Buttercup, you feeling yourself kind of woozy, but you kind of shake it off. Lily, you becoming incredibly woozy, and you suddenly feel your eyes growing heavier and heavier as you collapse to the ground. Roll a d4 for me, please, will you, Lily?
I would love nothing more. A 4.
Okay.
Is that a good or bad thing?
And as Nej reaches the center of the pond, sniffing at this little leather pouch, a claw shoots out of the water to strike at it. What is Nej's AC?
Nej's AC is no, wrong page. Sorry. Nej's AC is 15.
Okay, well, I rolled a 26 to hit.
Oh my god.
Although I did not roll great on the attack, 5 points of slashing damage.
Okay.
As this happens, the beautiful pond-like appearance immediately changes as the illusion that was in front of you disappears. And whereas before was this beautiful pond that was surrounded by a ring of beautiful flowers, there is still these flowers around it, but they look more sickly and
No.
and the water is swampy and dirty. And Buttercup and Isolde, please give me perception rolls.
Oof. Not good at that.
Oh man, you know who would have been great at this? You know who
23. I think what happens here is as I see that something is affecting Lily, a sort of like primeval awareness just awakens in
25.
Buttercup.
Right. Isolde, what did you get?
25.
So what you see attached to the claw that's still struck at your beautiful familiar is this disgusting creature, looking almost like an old man, but with large frog-like eyes, this enormous rotund pot belly, sickly greenish blackish skin, and a green beard with long matted hair. His skin appears to be covered in dirt and algae and scales. And I will need you all to roll initiative for me, please.
Is this one of the beautiful friends we have art of?
Yes, you do. The Bagnak. The
No one helps
horrible,
my Nej.
the horrible toad-like creature. There he is.
Look at him!
The Bagnik from Eastern European folklore.
Oh.
Oh my gosh.
Every single creature in this book comes straight from the stories of old. None of them being created by me. These are all creatures that have been told and retold in stories for centuries across Europe.
Look at this
So,
guy.
now, Lily, you are included in this initiative roll, okay? So, Isolde, what did you get?
Nice there.
I got 18.
Oh, nice. Okay. And Lily, what did you get?
A 7.
Okay. That's appropriate. And Buttercup, what did you get?
17.
What's your dex?
My dex is +4.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so you're going to go above the Bagnik. Okay.
I wanted to ask, does Nej get its own turn, or...
I was
my
going
turn?
to just have them go on your turn, just for simplicity, if you're okay with that.
Yeah, no problem.
It just makes it easier, you know?
Yeah, no issue. That's just figured I'd ask just to make sure.
100%. So, Isolde, you're the first to go. Buttercup, you're on deck.
So, Isolde is not happy that somebody
Absolutely.
struck at Nej. That is a no-go in her books.
Yes.
So, let's see. What have I got? Well, go big or go home. Ray of Frost. I'm going to cast Ray of Frost at
Beautiful,
creature.
beautiful. Do I get a saving throw against that?
Let me double check because I cannot recall. Ray of Frost on a hit. No, I have to hit you. So it's a spell attack. So I have to roll the die. 17 to hit? No, wait, I didn't add my bonus. Sorry. 17 plus 9 is 26. 26 to hit?
Please hold while we are having brief technical difficulties as our dungeon master has been whisked away into the Feywild.
Fey magic be like.
Fey magic be like. Oh.
I rolled 26 to hit.
Okay.
There's no save if it hits.
I can no longer hear the DM. If someone wants to put in the chat. This is now a new link that you are using, so I'll have to update the overlay. Can I recommend we take a quick break anyway? I could use some water. All right, team. Hold your rowan branch and your iron close. Flip your clothes inside out. We're going to take a brief pause now to retrieve our DM from the fairy circle that has whisked him away. And we'll be back in just a moment. Now, this is a great chance for you all to check out the Kickstarter link that is in chat for this incredible supplement. If you, like me, love folklore, you love mythology, and you really like the stories behind the stories that we tell, this is the work for you. And as someone who does a little casual, fun little folklore research as a side hobby, doing this kind of research is so incredibly hard. Like, I can't tell you, trying to track down an oral tradition to have some semblance of an authoritative story and then make it make sense in a way that you can put in a game supplement when the actual tradition is always internally contradictory, as is the way of Fae. The amount of work that goes into this, incredible. And the amount of work that goes to translating it into something we can use in these kind of games, amazing. So please go check that out. And while you do that, we're going to go take a quick break. See you in a moment. Bye.
Wait a minute.
And hello, we are back. I missed you all.
Can you hear me, Anne?
I can, and you sound great. The
Thank
Feywild
God.
didn't change you at all. Most
Yeah,
people who come back don't come back quite the same, so it's great to hear.
I already looked this old. I haven't aged from the centuries I was gone.
No, on this side you stayed exactly the same.
Super. Okay, well, I guess let's get back to it. When last we left our heroes, they were about to fight a Bagnik, a horrible toad-like creature that likes to live in the swamps, originally from Eastern Europe. And Isolde, you'd rolled, I think it was a 26 to hit, hadn't you?
Mhm.
Oh, that definitely hits. So roll for damage.
All right.
I think it's a 2d8 at your level now, isn't it?
Yes, that's right. That's 2d8.
Super.
That is 10 total. Although I have an ability as a warlock.
Yes.
Namely, what is the name of this thing? I believe it is Friend of... no, sorry, not that one. It is Cold Shoulder. So every time I cast a spell that is a cold damage spell, I get to add my charisma modifier. So that's 10 plus 5 for 15 damage.
So you actually, when you strike the creature, it roars out with this anguished scream as the blast of cold magical energy that hits it does even more damage than you were expecting. Significantly more damage than you were expecting. And it is now furious. Buttercup, it is your go. So you are about, I'm going to say you're about, sorry, I automatically do things in metric and I'm converting into imperial right now. Apologies.
No. Metric supremacy. Let's just stick with it. How many meters away is Buttercup? I need to know.
Well, so Buttercup, you are right beside Lily, who's on the ground unconscious beside you, and you are about, we'll say, 4 meters from Isolde, and you're about 3 meters from this creature that's in the center of the pond. It's a very large pond.
Okay.
If you times it by 3 to get roughly how many feet that is.
Yeah, that's
4 meters is 12 feet.
Yeah, 3 meters is 9 feet. So
Okay.
That's what I
So just a quick glance at Lily. Does Lily seem to be in trouble? Although
she seems to be overcome, possibly asleep. She's unconscious.
I would like to make it known that Lily has swooned artfully. Okay? Billowing gown is like out on amongst the flowers. Her hair is twisting among the cursed wildflowers.
Yeah.
It's a very Ophelia energy.
The hair,
I love it.
as she fell back, her hair fanned out, forming this dark aura around her reclined form.
All I ever wanted.
okay. Looking at Lily disposed right now, the first thing that Buttercup is going to do is rage. And as a wild magic barbarian, my wild surge will go off.
Nice. That's
So
good for me, who's next to you, incapacitated.
I have no idea what that means, but it sounds really cool.
Yes, so I roll a d8 and I rolled a 3. So an intangible spirit, which looks like a flump or a pixie, appears within 5 feet of one creature of your choice that you can see within 30 feet of you. At the end of the turn, the spirit explodes, and each creature within 5 feet of it must do a dex saving throw or take 1d6 force damage.
An exploding pixie?
I assume that the pixie appears on the opposite side of the bag next to Nej, yes?
Yes. So Buttercup seeing Lily on the ground, seeing this creature, essentially hulks out, and as they do, a flurry of glitter and flower petals explodes out from them, and it forms a figure on the other side of the creature. So that's my bonus action.
Okay, do I do a dex save against that, did you say?
It's going to be at the end of my turn.
It doesn't matter, I rolled a 3.
Okay, I'll roll the d6 for you then. That's 6 damage.
What type of damage you said it was? Force damage?
Force, yes.
Okay, cool. Super.
Okay, and then for my action, Buttercup will try to gently pick up Lily, if that's okay, and just move her away from the flowers, trying to maintain the poise, the grace in which they have already fallen, and just gently put them away from the flowers.
So, first of all, you effortlessly pick up Lily, because Lily, I mean, how big is Lily?
Okay, I think Lily is like, I base her off every like gothic romance protagonist. So she is wayfish. I will say though, she wears so many clothes. So like, although Lily herself does not have any weight, the crinolines, the gowns, the layers, the taffeta, the silks.
So
That's
she's
the
somewhere
word.
between. I'm getting the vibe that Lily's somewhere between. I'm using US numerics here, 90 to 100 pounds, but wears somewhere between 20 to 30 pounds of fabric.
Yes, that's quite accurate. She herself barely there. The clothes.
20% of your weight's just your dress. That's so funny.
So, I believe when you're carrying a creature in 5th edition, your movement is half, but you have the mobile feat, don't you, Buttercup?
Yes, so I have a speed of 50.
Yeah, so you can still effortlessly, I'm not going to make you roll strength to pick up Lily, but you effortlessly can get her 25 feet. okay, or 8 meters away from the pond's edge.
Great. And then I'll very gently put her down and nudge her shoulder. Lily, wake up.
And as you pull her away from the putrefying effects of the flower's fragrance, Lily, you do start to wake up.
I pull a lacy a handkerchief out of my pocket and like artfully dab at my lips.
Yes.
Oh, thank you, Buttercup.
You're welcome. Something's going on over there. And pointing over, that'll be the end of my turn.
So it is now the Bagnik's turn. And it is going to attack Nej twice.
Uh-oh.
That first hit is an 18.
That hits.
And the second hit is a 14.
That does not hit.
Okay, so with the hit that does land, it does 8 points of damage.
What kind of damage?
It's a slashing damage. Okay. However, with its bonus action, it grapples Nej and is going to attempt to pull them under.
Oh.
So,
No.
little fun fact about Nej
Yes.
is that they are immune to grapple because that's the thing about the flurry. It bursts into snow.
I love this so much. This is
so
amazing.
cool.
Oh, so then what we see happen is he claws at Nej and tries to grab at it with its other claw, which misses, and instead the claw seems to go through the Nej's form, which for a moment turns into a flurry of snowflakes before reforming as the creature screams out in fury and frustration, unable to
And
catch
Nej is
prey.
hissing back like the angriest cat.
Oh, I love it. I love it. So, Lily, because Buttercup pulled you away from the flowers that the Bagnik had growing around its pond, specifically to overcome prey, you're lying on the ground, but you are fully conscious, and it is your turn, my lovely.
Goodness. And I'm gonna kind of just like roll over to look at Isa. And I'm gonna look back at Buttercup. I was like, she's doing a really good job.
Of course. Isolde is a professional.
How wonderful. And Lily's gonna go, I believe in you. And I'm first off gonna bardically inspire you. So you can
Okay.
take a 1d10 to add to any d20 check.
Nice.
And then also I'm gonna say, but next time, hit him twice. And I'll cast haste.
Oh, shit.
Ooh.
So
Oh.
you get an additional action on your turn, +2 to your
Oh.
armor class, advantage on dex saving throws. I'll send you the whole thing. I'll put
Oh,
it in the
shit.
stream
Thank
chat.
you.
Oh, nice.
That's
Well,
awesome. Thank you.
Oh, I would assume that you use half your movement to gracefully rise from the ground, like
I want to make it clear. I use my full movement to rise because I do it so beautifully. It's a
Yes,
dance move.
of course.
Like I
That
don't-
is so funny.
Glorious.
I'm like, I have to do like a whole like, most people can't billow
Yes.
as they stand, but I do.
You do absolutely wonderfully. Okay, and as you rise up, your hair kind of flares around and then falls perfectly behind you, forming that curtain that normally trails.
And also, this is as a free action, I would just like to call out to my dog to make sure he's nearby and okay.
He's okay. We are at the top of
Okay.
the initiative with a hasted Isolde.
Yeah. Okay, so Isolde is still angry, especially considering that even though Nej got out of it, you don't try and take my Nej.
No.
Nuh-uh. So, Isolde is going to, let's see. We're going to, I get an extra action, which means
You
Yeah.
do.
Ah.
And it's vulnerable to cold damage. Get his
Yep.
ass!
It is It is vulnerable to cold damage. The Bagnik was vulnerable to cold damage. Funnily enough, immune to electrical damage.
I'm going to cast Rhymes Binding Ice.
Oh shit.
So in a flurry of snowflakes and crackling blue energy, Isolde summons like a ball of magic and then sends it outward to the creature.
Mm-hmm.
And he has to make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay, now he is good at that, but let's see how we do. Oh, no, that was cocked. Oh, I rolled on that one on the second roll. Okay, so a 7 is not going to do it.
So he takes. This is.
So you're casting this as a 10th level warlock. You're casting this at 5th level. Second level spell. So that's an additional 3d8. So that's 68.
68.
Oh, shit. Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, nice.
So that is for a total of 39. And I can add my charisma modifier on top of that of 5 because it's a cold spell.
So that brings it to 44.
Yes.
Doubled because it's vulnerable to cold damage.
And its speed is reduced to 0 because it's bound in the ice.
0 because you are now going to describe your killing blow.
Fair enough. So the ice, being the Rhymes Binding Ice spell, it does start to bind the creature initially. So like the the ice starts to crystallize around it, and suddenly it's almost like if you were squeezing it too tight, so it bursts into shards.
Shards. Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah. So this frost starts to form around it, and it's trying to resist, and it's trying to push through. It is quite strong. It is very powerful. But the ice thickens and thickens and thickens, and then it suddenly, it's like hundreds of icicles suddenly shoot in through, just eviscerating the creature as it cries out.
And as it cries out, I call back to Nej. I'm like, Nej, are you okay? Like, how are you? Oh, you both thing.
And Nej just hopping along, icy steps across the water, coming up and just rubs against your leg.
I shape water and icicle in the shape of a carrot and hand it to Nej.
Of course.
Because clearly carrots are the currency.
Let's go.
Absolutely. Right. So
in the background, Buttercup's like, still like in the throes of, still pumped up from the rage. Looks like she's retrieving Whiskers and about to throw Whiskers like a football, but
perhaps if we all also people are asking what's the doggy's name, and so I wanted something lore appropriate, so I'm going with the Black Hound from Welsh lore. Now,
yes.
Forgive my pronunciation, but I think the singular is Ki Anun.
I think you're right.
Okay, so his name's Ki Anun, and I go, all right, well, if we all get on Ki, he runs very fast. We have a hasted and a mobile. Perhaps we can find another foe quickly.
Just for the chat, I'm Irish, so the Irish language is from a different group of the Celtic families. Irish, Scottish, and Manx are in one group, and then you had Cornish, Welsh, and Breton in the other. So an Irish person speaking to Scots Gael, we can understand 70-80% of each other, probably more than a French person and a Quebecois, if we're being honest. But I'm just saying. But Irish and Welsh are very different. However, Coo in Irish means hound, and P in Welsh means hound, as far as I remember.
Cool.
There you
go. I had to go because I listen. I'm not gonna lie. I read a lot of these things, but I don't speak Welsh out loud very often.
Also, I mean, while they're using the same Latin alphabet, it's not the same alphabet. The letters are pronounced differently.
Right. But so you said "coo" in Irish means hound?
It means hound, yeah. It's one of the words, yeah.
So Cahulan is...
literally the Hound of Coolin. Cullen was the
Cute.
guy who owned the dog that Satanta
Right.
killed.
I admittedly did not pay as much attention as I should have in medieval studies.
So that's why he had that name. So, everybody, getting back on Kianon, feeling pretty good about this disgusting fey creature that you've now dealt with. You continue along your way. All right? And you're traveling along.
Lily is just hyping up both Isa and Buttercup the entire way, like nonstop, but in like her creepy way of like, you were like a beautiful harbinger of death, bestowing that upon others. Isa, it was incredible. Buttercup, the strength with which you were able to lift and save me, a hero. Amazing. They will speak of this for years to come. They will put it in the lore. They will tell the tales of the brave Buttercup who was willing to rescue me from a circle of blossoms. And like the entire time, like.
And Izzet is smoking again, just like and after fight smoke. It's like, yes, Giselle.
Buttercup is just blushing all the way through. Like, do you really think so?
Of course.
Buttercup, you feel very warm right now.
Right. So, continuing on. All right. You are traveling along, and you are following the Anchutka's advice, traveling deeper and deeper, trying to get in towards the center of the forest. Okay. You're going along for a good bit. All right. When you hear what you think is music up ahead of you, a feminine voice singing softly in the trees up ahead of you.
I take harmonies.
Okay.
I'm sorry, this is a trap for me specifically. I never stood a chance. Uh-oh, is that the...
So, as you travel around a bit further, the trees open out a bit, and then you see, standing in front of you, this beautiful young woman. She looks elven, wearing a long, fine purple dress decorated with silver embroidery. And she's dancing to her own music, spinning around effortlessly. But you notice, as you look at her, that she has a long cow's tail that peeks out from between the folds of her skirt. As you come up to her, spinning around one time, she sees you and stops. And looking at her, you see she is breathtakingly beautiful, blonde, elf-like being. As she looks at the three of you, she's like, "Well, hello there."
Hello.
Why did you stop singing? It was so lovely.
Well, because I have some new friends, I suppose. Would you like me to continue to sing? Would you like to dance with me?
Buttercup looks at Lily almost like asking permission with her eyes.
And okay,
Oh no.
so Lily knows better than to accept a dance from a fairy, right? Like Lily knows through and through. She has read the stories, right? Her mother would have warned her of this nonsense, but Lily loves a dance. Lily loves the song so much. I'm gonna do a wisdom saving throw.
And Buttercup is looking for permission as well.
Can I also remind you, Lily, she's really hot. She's
She's so
gorgeous.
hot.
She
There's
is
no way
so
Lily
hot.
isn't a lesbian, right? Like, there's no
Oh,
way.
I just,
Like,
I just assumed they were pansexual, but yeah, cool.
I know.
Oh.
Izzet is having a problem with the hotness as well, but not with the dancing. So seeing the other two like itching to dance is like, please don't.
okay. I rolled a 4.
No.
So here's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
Buttercup is looking towards Lily to be like, "Can I dance?" And Lily's like, "No, you should never accept a dance from a fan." And like immediately, while saying this, takes the beautiful woman's hand to dance,
no.
and is like
Oh.
being like, "It's a
Oh, no.
terrible idea. It's very."
So as you take this Huldra's hand, and I do believe we have artwork for the Huldra as well. So
Okay.
you hear a magical music appearing out of nowhere. I need all three of you to give me wisdom saving throws.
So good.
Okay. I rolled better that time. I got a 17 that time.
Quick question: is this a charm that I'm?
This is a charm, yes. Absolutely, this is a charm.
Okay, so I have advantage on the wisdom save.
Oh, me too. Also, technically, I'm immune to be putting asleep magically, but I've decided that doesn't count if they're fayer than I am.
Well,
If
the
they're
thing that
fayer than
so
you.
just in the previous encounter with the Bagnic, what put you asleep wasn't magic; it was the putrefying effects of the flower.
Okay,
So
okay.
it's like in the folklore, it's described that the Bagnic would actually they would plant flowers around their lairs so that people who came close would become overcome by the stupefying effects of the plants. So
Okay,
that's direct from the folk.
listen. Hey, Neil, I'm just
Yeah.
saying, you put a circle of cool plants, a hot woman. I feel like these are very specific and targeted traps. Like, oh, a botanical mystery, an absolute hottie. Like,
Well, what's everybody? So, Lily, you got a 17. Isolde, what did you get?
17.
And Buttercup?
9.
Okay, the DC was 18.
Oh, frick.
You
I rolled with
all
advantage. No, I rolled with advantage because of my Fey ancestry gives me advantage against being charmed, and I rolled a 20. That said, I have taken her hand already and started dancing. So if you want to counteract my advantage, then you can set me back to a 17. That's up to you.
whichever you feel would be appropriate for Lily.
Yeah, I rolled
Honestly,
17
probably
with
fair.
advantage.
Probably
Yeah.
failing, honestly, probably.
So you all become overcome by this enthralling magical music as you join hands with Lily and this Huldra and start dancing in this clearing together. And
I
it's
wish we started
delightful.
doing it sooner.
It is
Like a
absolutely.
cotillion.
So it is absolutely delightful as she looks at each of you and starts asking, "Why are you here? Why are you in the forest?"
We are looking for someone named Kendra.
Kendra. Kendra. Is she a human girl?
We think so.
Most
Has she-
likely.
We
Did
don't
she
actually
possi-
know what she looks like.
We
Did
have no
she
idea.
did she possibly arrive here a few days ago?
Yes, that's correct.
It was a
And
misty evening.
why are you
In a
looking for her?
gown.
Why are you looking for her?
We were tasked by her.
To help her get home.
Yes.
How do you know this is not her new home?
If it
That's
is,
what we
then we've
told her,
succeeded.
betrothed. That is what we told the betrothed, but he didn't listen.
Betrothed.
Mm.
And she does not like the sound of that. She does not like the sound of that term betrothed at all.
Oh,
Listen,
not
I'm
do-
not a fan of him either.
Do you feel that it was a love match between the two of them?
No.
I have no way of knowing.
We'd have to ask her.
Sure, if you met her so-called betrothed, you probably got a measure of the person. Was it a man or a woman?
Man,
Ugh.
I know. Disappointing.
He wasn't very nice.
He was very rich, though.
Yes.
Money is meaningless to my kind.
But
well,
she's
Kendra
human.
is not your kind. And if he were to perish terribly, then that would be her money.
I like the way that you are thinking, my dear. I like that.
No one says yes to survive past the wedding night.
No one says yes to survive to the wedding night, really.
Interesting.
Depends on the prenup.
Okay. And if you find Kendra, what is your plan?
To ask her where her home is.
I see. So you won't force her to return to her so-called betrothed?
Well, we are going to accompany her and help her get home. That was the language of the deal.
I see. And the language that we use when we make a deal is always so important.
Plus, I don't intend to force her to do anything unless she intends to kill the bastard, in which case I'm absolutely willing to help her.
Each of you can give me a persuasion roll.
Buttercup will forego anything because Buttercup is afraid of speaking too much or saying thank you or saying their name.
Oh no!
And will just be quietly supportive and smiling of their companions.
I feel like while we were on writing on key, Lily made like a note for Buttercup, where it's like all the rules of talking to Fae, and some of them are accurate and some of them aren't, because I
Yeah.
think Lily's been given like some inaccurate lore, right?
Mm.
But they are written in the world's most ornate, elaborate script. The amount of swirlies makes this very difficult for you to read, but you do have like a little list. But
So-
everything's like.
And all the eyes are dotted with hearts.
I don't think so. I think they like maybe hearts, but like they look like they're skulls, depending on which angle you look at.
Oh,
I love that. So
Mhm.
Buttercup actually wouldn't have any trouble reading any of that because she's proficient in calligrapher's supplies.
Oh,
And
okay.
she likes to like make wedding invitations for fun.
Oh,
I love it. I love it so much.
oh my god, I love her so much.
Fantastic.
What was I gonna say? Persuasion roll. I rolled 28.
28.
Yeah, I rolled. I'm so 31.
Jeez. I don't.
Listen, this is a charisma forward party, okay? And
I
also
know.
Buttercup's here.
Yeah, charisma forward. Look at that character sheet. -1 modifier.
I'd just like to say I was last year I ran a short starter adventure of Fey Earth, my own game,
Yeah.
on a wonderful Irish TTRPG streaming platform called the Emerald Collective, and it was a really fun game, but my players were absolutely shit. None of them was rolling higher than about an 8 for the entire bloody series. It was
So funny.
to the point where me as the GM was like struggling to try to give them stuff that they could do because they were rolling so badly. And you guys are rolling like, oh, I only rolled an 8. That's a 21.
Oh no! I rolled a 19. Like,
My point
Just
still
a
stands.
19.
My point
yeah,
still
like
stands.
I actually rolled well. This was not my bonus. Well,
Yeah,
I have
this-
plus 9,
this-
but it wasn't purely bonus.
Listen,
based.
just don't make me do an athletics roll, okay? I can do one thing.
Okay. Right. Well,
That's Buttercup's jurisdiction.
I think I like you all. You seem like honest souls. So I'm going to let you in on a little secret. I do happen to know of the mortal that you speak of.
Kendra.
Yeah, well, I did not know her name, but I knew of her, you see.
Oh no, we fucked up.
No. It's okay. You see, a dear friend of mine, Bayana, she lives deeper in the forest. She had told me of this mortal that she had fallen in love with, and who had fallen in love with her, and that told me they were going to escape away together. And I think that is the mortal you are looking for.
I fucking told her that he was full of shit.
Wow.
You
Are
would
there
not listen?
any other beautiful Fey women deep in the woods looking for wives to elope with? Just
Lily
asking.
darling.
Sorry,
Lily darling,
yes.
you have a career to think about.
I know, of course.
Marriage
Are there-
later, okay?
Right. Are there any stages deep in the Feywood looking for a soloist? Sorry. Right. Focusing. And if we were to find Kendra and her partner, where would we go?
She is closer to the center of the forest.
All right.
If you go in deeper, you will probably meet the Leshy. Yes, and after you meet him, you'll know you are close. I would warn you, there are some fairies near there as well. They can be quite tricky, but they don't like iron. I'll tell you that.
Gasps and
Has
looks
a peek
over
in
at
the
you.
pocket. It's like, yeah, still has it.
Yeah. Okay.
And the
So-
Lily is still like dancing, like
Oh
waltzing.
yeah.
Oh, yeah,
it
we're
is.
all dancing, I think.
By the way,
This whole conversation's happening while you guys are still dancing to this magical music that appeared out of nowhere.
quick question.
Yes,
Haste is concentration, right?
I believe it is. Yes.
I'm assuming haste has dropped.
Hold on, let's see how long this bad boy lasts. It's only a minute. It's
Yeah,
only a
I thought-
minute.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
am-
yeah. It would definitely have dropped by now.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's only slowed by a minute then, right? Because the
Oh yeah, no, the effect of that would have been gone as well.
Okay,
Because remember, you were like traveling for
Right.
a good like 30-40 minutes after fighting the Bagnik. So you were good from that. Yeah, no, absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Okay,
Yes.
as Lily is dancing, and she goes, well, no, not saying that. She's gonna, I appreciate your help. Now, are there any rules of this wood that we should know as we proceed?
I mean, depending on the Fae that you meet, maybe do not give them your name. Some one of my kin, we do not bother with such things, but certainly the fairies, I would not give your name to them. The Leshy, it would be fine. The Samadiva, that is what Biliana is, that would be okay. But
Speaking of names, could we
Mhm.
have at least a semblance of yours? In
Oh.
case we want to meet you again.
you may call me Heda.
Eda.
Yes.
Le plaisir est le mien.
Hmm.
Lily's like,
I believe you have the aura of the polar ball around you, yes?
Mhm.
So looking directly at Isolt.
Yes.
I thought I sensed that power. Interesting.
She's
You're
still-
a truly delightful bunch. I'm so happy we met.
Yes. I am too.
Me too.
Hmm.
Dance.
Perhaps. If I could have your names, perhaps maybe in the future, if I'm looking for some people, for some companionship, some people to dance or to sing with, I could send you a message.
to sing with? Okay, my name's...
My name's Butter. Butter.
Okay, I think... Okay, in my head canon, Lily isn't my true name. Lily is my stage name. So I'll say people call me Lily instead of saying my name is Lily.
Okay.
I see.
People call me Lily.
Some people call me Verglas.
Delightful.
Butter.
Butter. How cute.
This is our good friend Butter.
How cute. Wow. I think, looking more so at you, Lily, if I need somebody to help me with a song, perhaps I will send you a raven.
There is nothing that would make me happier.
Of course.
Ah.
Well, and with that, the music stops.
Oh.
Do we stop dancing? Do we stop
Yes.
dancing?
If you wish, there is no longer any music.
Buttercup
Dancing
stopped
to the music in
dancing.
your head.
Yes. Yes. As I said, head deeper into the forest. You'll probably meet the Leshy and probably the fairies. The Leshy is kind, the old man. The fairies, they can be quite malevolent, but they can also just be playful. They are mercurial creatures. And that is what makes them a danger to non-Fae.
And quick question. Because you
Mhm.
mentioned they fear iron.
Yes,
To the point of hostility or to the point of running away?
it can interfere with our magic.
Ah,
Yes.
merci.
D'accord?
I feel like everyone's saying their goodbyes, and Lily stopped dancing, but she's still holding on.
Yeah, you're still holding on to Hedda's hand, and she looks at you and she says, "Oh, part of me really wants to kiss you right now, but I do
wouldn't
not
stop
feel."
you.
That would be
Okay.
good for you. And she raises your hand to her lips and kisses your knuckles instead.
Lily swoons.
Not
Butter-
again.
Buttercup pulls out that paper that Lily had written and just starts scouring it to see if it says anything about kissing on it.
Does it? Does it say anything?
I think it is, but I think instead of it's like you should not kiss the Fae unless, and then it's like a little bit of like fanfic immediately about like,
Unless, and then Buttercup just starts reading it out loud.
it gets a little racy in paragraph 3. I'm gonna be
Buttercup stops suddenly and is just blushing and just kind of quietly folds it back up. That's it. There's no more words. It just stops.
Isa is full on holding on to a swooned Lily and going like, okay.
okay. And Lily kind of.
I would have gone pour la bise goodbye, but now I'm not sure. I have no idea.
As we leave, Lily's like, "A bientôt."
And
I'm coming back.
And I'm sort of gonna shove Lily out of the way so I can do the bees so that before going.
Yeah, of course. And you push Lily onto the back of her phantom steed hound. You know, the Huldra does have an ability called the Maddening Kiss, whereby if they succeed in a melee attack and they kiss the target on the lips, and they would be attracted to the Huldra and fail their DC wisdom saving throw, they become obsessed with the Huldra, and they view anyone else as an enemy attempting to stop them being with the Huldra. And after 3 turns of failed wisdom saves, the effect becomes permanent. But I feel like Lily's so gay that Ada didn't even need to kiss her.
And I air kissed next to her cheek.
Yeah, of course you did. Of course, no, I know that he's up. Yeah,
She's got a U-Haul ready at the edge of the wood.
Please clip this.
Yeah. the wagon with the wagon being led by the horse right at the edge of the wood already.
Yeah. No magic powers required. I'm just
No. You're just full of the gay.
yeah, she's hot, she dances, she speaks cryptically and lives in a dark wood.
And she sings.
And she's I'm in.
No. If you think that breaks you, the Huldra canonically from Scandinavian folklore were they look like beautiful elven maids, but were incredibly strong. The stories of old say that a Huldra could straighten a horseshoe with their bare hands. That's how strong they were.
She could carry me around.
So,
I could be a little princess carry.
Yeah, absolutely.
But,
oh my God.
but also, now the question is, does she sing on the same, is she the same vocal range as you? Is she soprano, alto, mezzo?
Oh, she's a soprano.
And what is Lily?
She's Head is a soprano.
I think Lily's an alto. I think Lily sings quite deep.
That's a nice match.
Yeah, Lily is mostly sings like dirge and morning songs. It's all the gigs she can book. She's trying to break into the pop circuit, but it's really hard.
Head is a soprano, but she's also a master of throat singing as well.
Oh my God, she's got the polyphonic notes.
Lily's just gone.
Like that's just like. I'm like, I'm like, Buttercup, give me back that note. I need to add something.
and like is patting, like stroking your back and going like, okay, it's okay, we can come back later. We just want to get the reward first, huh? We'll come back. Maybe she has friends for some of us.
Okay. Yes. Oh, wonderful. Right. Where were we going? What were we doing again? Something about an elopement, a running away with the Fae. Something about
That's
that.
right. Yes,
Right.
we're looking for Kendra.
Okay. Luckily, I feel like Lily has lost the plot, but Key the Hound has remembered the direction, like, and is like following the path. Lily's working on her fanfic.
Yes, absolutely.
Lily, Not again. Like this happens every other day. That she's
What's
just
a
like lost in fanfic.
What's a
Like,
synonym for trembling? What's
quivering?
Quivering.
This happens all the time. I love this dynamic.
Right. Super. Okay.
Buttercup just completely unable to process anything.
Yeah.
Buttercup, you're okay?
Oh yes. We're going that way.
Right. And Lily is going to reach into her bag and pull out because you've got all the snacks, the things, but Lily is gonna actually pull out just like some little honey cakes, and give one to Buttercup and one to Whisker, and just be like, "Yeah, I know that was a lot. You're doing great."
I'm a fan. Don't worry. And just like shoves the cake into her mouth so that she doesn't have to talk anymore. Whiskers just inhales the thing.
Right.
I'm gonna need some more cakes when we get back.
So you guys
You like baking, it's fine.
continuing along the forest on your hound.
What if I
going
just
deeper
leave the
and deeper.
Huldra up on the overlay though for no reason?
If you want,
Bye. No.
that would be perfectly fine.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the other creature that we will be having, my artist has sketches of it, but has not finished the artwork yet. Yes, so unfortunately, I didn't have it. And same with the Unchukka. Also, I've got a team of 7 artists currently working on my core rulebook for Feywild. And they're all ridiculously talented, including a recent addition. Ukrainian artist who is doing like nearly all of the creatures from Eastern European folklore. Yes, including they did the Bagnik that you've seen, that was done by Valentina, my new Ukrainian artist. So yes.
If you'd like to see more of this incredible art, you can do so by getting the book. And thank you, Tiger, for posting that link in chat. The Kickstarter is right there. You can do 2 things at once. I believe in you. You haven't been ensorcelled. Do it.
And if you want to have really powerful, possibly gay fae in your game, this is the perfect book for you, you know?
Yes, correct. If you want to be swept away by a fairy lesbian, this is the book for you.
I have so many fae lesbians in this book, it's ridiculous.
Oh my
I'm
god.
just-
Say less.
We need to, because I want to say a lot of the lore of like women in folklore is like either the greatest fear is that they're secretly old, or that your wife could age. Greatest fear that you must like trap a woman by some sort of means to convince her to hang out with you. And then also if you don't, they just hang out with the other girlies.
Yeah.
And I'm like, they're just gay. The fairies are gay.
Yeah, absolutely, 100%, absolutely, yeah. So that's the secret.
There's no hetero explanation for all of this nonsense.
No, of course not. But anyway, on that note, continuing deeper into the forest. All right, you are traveling along further. Give me some perception rolls, folks, will you?
I'll try.
That's a 25.
Oh, that was quite good.
Perception.
Thank you. I did it
13.
myself.
Hmm.
Am I distracted from my fanfic?
Yeah, just blushing, clearly daydreaming about something. What could it be?
I rolled
Lily's
a 12, so I'm distracted by Lily's fanfic.
Okay, Lily is writing and both Buttercup and Izo are looking over her shoulders, like one on each.
Absolutely.
Reading.
No. You used the wrong verb there.
Thank you. Hello, beautiful raiders. Welcome for joining us.
Hello, Raiders.
We are playing a one-shot of Dungeons and Dragons, but heavily based on real Fae folklore. And sometimes maybe we wouldn't call Fae. Our three little friends here are traipsing deep into a dark wood with cold iron in hand, following the directive of 2 fey creatures now who've helped us and one who's hindered us to try and retrieve a lost maiden. Thank you so much all for joining. Hi, welcome. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you all for joining. You are going to see a few more Fae straight from European folklore, but added for 5e. So, what was that? Someone got a 25 on their perception roll. What were the other 2 rolls?
I rolled a 12,
Okay.
which is what I'm saying. I'm very busy correcting grammar or like finding a new word.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, Lily is like writing her fairy smut and doesn't quite have the vocabulary and education that Isolde does. So,
Yeah.
like, you catch me using the same words so many
Uh-huh.
times. Like, you can't use throbbing 3 times in one paragraph. So, Isolde can make those corrections.
And you can use
Oh.
use eyes. Orbs is weird.
Oh, okay. Yes.
Right. Okay. So, with that 25, you spot a creature up out in the canopy looking down at you. You almost don't spot it because it appears to be translucent, okay? As in, it's not fully opaque. And it looks like a small figure, maybe about 3.5 foot in height, delicate feminine form, wearing some sort of a almost transparent, white, shimmering, silky style, I don't know, gown or dress or some such thing, with a pair of beautiful gossamer wings, bald head, slightly pointed ears, big black eyes with no sclera, and a slightly faint bluish skin, as it looks curiously at you for a moment. And then it
Lily
just,
is going to tap Isolde and Buttercup on the shoulder and like direct their attention towards the creature so they can see too.
as you do, and they turn, the creature just jumps off and disappears. Its translucent form making it practically invisible.
What was that?
What was that?
I think that we should be. Perhaps we put the fanfic away for now, and we
Aw.
direct our attention to other things. We're being watched, and whatever is watching us did not like when we watched back, which is not a great omen in these woods.
Neige? Calling out to the little snow flurry lynx. See if you can follow.
It kind of looks at you with that look that cats sometimes give when their humans try to give them a command.
That's so funny.
Okay, we still have some training to go through. Okay.
Buttercup getting nervous about us being potentially watched will sneeze and use magical awareness again.
Okay, right. Let me just have a look here. Okay. You suddenly get a feeling, strong magical aura, up in the canopy, and looking around, you see a singular figure, a raven, looking at you. But there's something about this raven and the way it's looking at you. And you notice that its eyes are glowing with a golden light. As it tilts its head to the side, looking you straight in the eyes, having realized that you're looking straight at it, as it suddenly jumps off the branch, swooping down, and as it comes down towards the ground, its form shimmers and shifts and shakes until suddenly, where once there was a raven, there's now a large, black, long-haired, shaggy goat that sprints off into the forest.
What was that?
Magical
Yes.
raven goat?
Goats are not as classy as ravens, for taste.
Oh, I quite like goats.
Yeah, but they're not classy.
Should we
They're
follow
kind of
it?
they're plebeian, you know?
Does the magical goat leave the path?
It does. It disappears into the undergrowth.
No, we should not. No, we should not follow it.
Right.
But I think we can expect to see more things like this soon. So
I think
And
so.
Lily's gonna like take her quarterstaff off her back and just like hold it to be a little more on guard. Things
Buttercup.
are afoot.
Seeing what Lily's doing, copies and right, just pulls this like massive hammer off of their back.
And is going to pull the earring to try and talk to patron grandma again. You're like, ravens that turn into goats. Does that tell you anything?
Give me a charisma roll.
And also, do women work for you?
Also, where do we land on that?
Yeah. Oh no, that I rolled a 2, so even with my charisma, that is not going nowhere.
You
busy.
are hit with silence.
She was also reading the fanfic. She's busy. Like,
or she didn't like my suggestion of the ladies. It's like, oh, so old fashioned.
Yes.
could I do like
Right.
some sort of like a history or arcana check or something to see if I
Absolutely.
know what this is?
100%.
What would you like?
Whatever you have the highest stat in.
I'm gonna be real. Thinking's not my strong suit. Being hot is. So they're all the same. Yeah, I don't know. 7. So
Yeah, you don't know.
don't know.
Should
Strange.
we also try?
Yes, I was going to say you could as well, yeah.
Sure. Do we even have anything in Arcana?
Mm.
I actually have some proficiency in
Anne
Arcana.
wants to know.
And history. 17.
Not one.
You do know. You've 17. You've heard stories of shape-shifting fey creatures
My good
and
rolls are over.
that could change from ravens into goats into other creatures. And you know these particular type of fey. They're a very mischievous, trickstery type of fey called a puka.
So-
Okay.
When I got stuck in the Feywild for a little while, I talked to a pair of talking turtles, and they told me about. And then I'll essentially say what you just said.
Yeah.
Oh.
So I don't know if we can trust them.
They're not necessarily like evil or malevolent, but they can be assholes. They can hurt you. They can be. They love to trick people, and sometimes those tricks can cause harm.
Hmm.
You know, they're not evil fey, but they are assholes.
Okay. Well, let's be wary. Let's not follow them, and let's keep our eyes peeled for more. Check the branches where they might hide. Okay. And then I'm gonna like kind of like gently like tap Key to like keep going, keep on the path deeper into the wood towards where the hot fairy directed us.
Yeah, super. So you continue along for a little bit more, maybe another 10, 15 minutes, and suddenly your hound suddenly raises his snout, sniffing at the air, and starts wagging his tail excitedly as he suddenly takes off, bounding and leaping. And you guys all have to grab hold as he's suddenly
Whoa.
racing along the tracks, coming into another glen, and as he skids to a halt, you see this figure in front of you. The best way to describe him would be an elderly looking man, but with a long beard of tangled green hair and tangled mane of green hair that appears to be like branches growing from his hair with small berries, and his beard appears to be made of lichen. His skin is the color and texture of a mossy bark, and his clothing is an odd assortment of kaftan, but worn in the opposite fashion, tied left or right, and with shoes on the wrong feet. And lying on the ground beside him, he's sitting on a tree stump. I remember you see this large cudgel, and there's a small gathering of various different animals around him. There are brown bears, there are some badgers, there are some moles, there's squirrels, there's magpies, there's robins, there's a whole, and this man himself, he is enormous, as in like he looks to be 8-9 foot tall.
Are there any rabbits?
There are some rabbits and some hares.
Huh.
As Q
just-
going up to him, sniffing at him, wagging his tail excitedly as the man looks at him like,
Are there
Whoa.
any small rodents like voles or things like that?
Their smallest rodents would be squirrels.
Okay. Nash takes after a couple. Like, takes off after a squirrel.
Of course, like this beggar, this old man of tree and moss, seeing who reaches a massive hand up and he's scratching him and he's like, "Who's a good boy there? Who's a good boy?" And he's like, "Arr, arr, arr, arr." And your eyes are being shook by his shaking from the scritches. It's like, "Oh, you're such a good boy. Yes, you are. Oh,
Monsieur.
you brought friends. Hello. Been
Hello.
quite some time since we've had visitors here. It's delightful."
Has it been some time? We were under the impression that somebody came along a few days ago.
I wouldn't know. I mostly I mostly worry about the animals and the trees.
Is that why, no offense, the fashion faux pas with the shoes?
What do you mean?
They're not on the right foot?
They're on my feet, aren't they? That's the right thing.
Okay. It will do for now.
Buttercup will hop over towards the other rabbits and just start talking to them in rabbit.
Absolutely.
Be like, "Hey, what's the vibe on this guy?"
And turns to Lily and goes, I never understand when she gets like this.
That's the rabbit's turn to you. He's like, "Oh hi, that's Grandfather Abina. He's the loveliest old man in the forest. He loves us and he cares about us and he gives us treats and he's so wonderful and he's so great and he's so lovely. But don't be mean if you disrespect the forest, if you disrespect the animals. Oh, when he gets angry, he's scary. But he's lovely. We love him so much. We love him so much. Hi, how are you? What's your name?"
Butter.
That's a silly name. Butter. Hi, Butter.
Hi. Do you want a carrot? And Butter will just start socializing.
Love it.
Yeah, absolutely. And the rabbits and the hares, they're all eager for the carrots that you're offering. As this creature, this old man of the forest, turns to Lily and he's all like, "Well, my dears, so as I said, we don't get many visitors in this forest. What brings you in here?"
We're looking for a maiden.
We're on a quest.
"Oh, how exciting!"
Yes.
She's-
What? Yes.
Okay, now Lily does remember the name of the fairy that I have. Billiana, is that right?
Yeah, Billiana. Yes.
So I'll say we're looking for Billiana.
Oh, Billiana, yes, delightful girl, yes. She lives a bit deeper into the forest. You're not too far from her.
How far do you estimate?
I don't know. Weeks travel, maybe a few days. Time is funny here, you know.
Oh, all right.
Perhaps you could be there yesterday if you wanted. Time is funny.
You wouldn't happen to have a blue police box? No, I'm kidding.
I think-
Not actually something she says.
Okay, I think Lily is going to turn towards Izo and gets very excited. And she goes, "A friend that we meet along the road. They arrive in threes. We got the first one, the second one,
Yes.
and this is our third friend. This will be
Yes.
the last friend before the end of the quest, but only if we can get him to share some advice, something to help us on our way. This is the shape of the story."
Wait. You believe in the rule of three too?
Well, I find it narratively elegant. Is that what
Ah.
you mean?
Sure. Like, in my ideals, it's actually the rule of three. Everything happens in threes. And if I detect a pattern, it's what I go for. So that's my character's ideal. So it's like, wait, you too?
And there's 3 of us.
Yes! The rule of three.
Three
It's perfect.
folks along a road, 3 friends. Okay. And then,
Very
like,
good.
Lily turns back towards the leshy. The old man of the wood.
He's a
who-
leshy. He's a leshy.
Okay, quick above table thing. I don't think Lily's particularly excited about the leshy. Gnome Anne thrilled. One of my favorite creatures, one of the only one with forager, like that lore that's specific to mushroom foragers, like
Yes.
specifically luring foragers off the path with beautiful mushroom patches, which if you've ever been in the foraging community would work every time. If they had a little morel patch, they would follow them to their doom. I'm just covered in moss and lichen. Oh, a real, like, we don't have enough fungal mythology because it wasn't like a separate thing until the sixth. Anyway, I can't talk about it, but oh my god, a leshy. It's like
You can talk about it here, Anne. It's face stuff.
It's so funny because given how we have established how U-Haul inclined Lily is, the leshy's probably less exciting. Yes.
yeah, I know. No man would would immediately U-Haul with a leshy for sure. Giant moss man, I'm in. Let's go. But no, Lily's too gay for that. So she's going to say, "Hello. We appreciate your kindness, and we hope that you might be willing to share with us some rules that can help us pass through this forest safely."
I see. Want some sort of a trade or some such thing?
I do have some gifts I could give if that's what you would like.
Necessarily what I would like. It's what you're interested in.
People have just kind of been helping us for free, honestly, but I do have more cakes. And she's going to take out the biggest honey cake. There aren't many left. And so
Isolde pulls out her little notebook and goes, "Would you be interested in matrimony of any kind?"
I'm already married, sorry.
Merde. Puts the book away.
you're like, honey cake?
How about a wager instead?
What kind of wager?
Game of chance.
Just a game.
Of course. Games are fun, aren't they?
All
Depends
right.
on the player.
Are you fun?
Only under certain circumstances.
And he pointing at Lily says, "Well, you look like you'd be fun."
That's never a word that anyone's ever used to describe me.
What
But-
about you, my dear rabbit person? Pointing at Buttercup. Would you like to play a
Buttercup
game?
looks up, huh? And you can see that she's holding the Volpertinger and trying to explain to the other rabbits what the Volpertinger is.
Is that a... Oh my lord, I have not seen one of them in centuries. Please, please bring him over.
I don't know about that. He's very bitey.
In-
It's not bites, it's kisses.
In return,
The
for
kisses
Volpertinger
make you
kisses.
Not so much me, as he raises up a hand and you see his skin is covered in a dense bark.
In return for Volpertinger kisses, could we have the trade of
Oh,
information?
I just love animals. I don't want it to just pet the creature, that's all. But I would love a game of chance. What about you, my dear? Would you like a game of chance with me? Yes? Pointing at Buttercup.
Buttercup looks over at the other two for approval.
like on the list.
You
I-
see him.
I
What's the
don't-
game?
Yes. What's the game? I don't trust Buttercup.
Oh, it's a very simple game. The game is called the Three Crones, all right? And he reaching, you don't even see where he reaches from. He
Who
pulls
are
out
you
a
calling a
deck,
crone?
he pulls out a deck of cards, okay? And he basically says, it's very, very simple. Shuffle the deck, 3 cards each, and if you have whichever has the higher pair wins the hand. If you don't have a higher pair, it's highest card that wins.
And so how do the pairs work?
You have 3 cards, and
Yes.
you have 2 of the same kind,
Yes.
then you win. Unless I have a higher pair.
Can I do an
Which-
insight check?
Which is the eye card?
Same. Insight.
Whoever
So,
wants
like-
to be
As you guys insight checks, I'm trying to find all the rules and like the minor details of this game.
Natural 20. 24.
Who was that?
Natural
What?
20.
Buttercup?
Yes.
Go Buttercup.
Okay.
So the
You-
flavor of this is Buttercup wants to know if we can trust this guy.
You're very much getting the vibe that this guy genuinely wants to play this game of chance with you.
So I'm not supposed to play games, but I think I want to play just one little game with you. I think it'll be okay.
Wonderful, wonderful. That's delightful. Okay, so
Sorry, Lily.
no, of course. So let me see. What shall we wager for the first round?
A
I have
rose
a
to keep us
turnip.
safe on the road, or a turnip, or
Oh, it has to be something interesting.
We can do turnips, yeah.
I know. What about this? What about the gift of speech?
oh no.
You mean voices?
Yes, the gift of speech. Well,
Yeah, my grandmother would not approve.
oh, your rabbit friend here. What do you think? The gift of
Ah.
speech?
What?
Sure, why not?
Wonderful. Excellent.
Oh
So,
no.
I'm sorry, Lily.
Stella, can you please roll 3d6?
Oh God, my hands are so sweaty.
Okay, hold on. Is there anything I can do to help with this? Like, I'm trying to think of
Inspiration?
Think.
like because like an inspiration helps the D20 check, but also
Do you have anything
Like-
like guidance or any bless or
I
anything
do
like
have
that?
guidance.
Okay, so I'll say if you have a guidance, you can add the d4 to one of the die.
Okay, so I cast
Ooh.
guidance on Buttercup. And if you want to add a D4, you can. And
I
then-
might
Oh no.
no, that does not work like that, does it?
Oh god.
What does your guidance look like?
Yeah, what does it
Um,
look
I-
like? Lily?
I think like as a bard, I think it looks like a whisper. And I mean that sounds like it looks like. So it's like Lily kind of just like leans in, and out of her mouth, it's like this little wisp of iridescent smoke, like a mirage
Mhm.
on above a hot
Yes,
street. There's kind of
yes.
this like ripple that goes through the air and then
love it.
lands on Buttercup's shoulder.
Beautiful, beautiful. Right. So,
Hey.
Buttercup, roll your 3d6 and tell me what your results were.
All right.
Wait. Who cut the cards?
The less you did.
Yeah, who deal? No. Somebody else deals and cuts the cards. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. Here, you can do it, my dear. And he like completely happy to do so. Zero like subterfuge
Yeah.
or anything. Hands the cards to you.
Listen,
Are you-
with
you-
with my patron, I don't trust people.
Isolde, are you trying to do something as you shuffle the deck?
I was thinking that. I'm trying to see what I can do, though. I don't know.
You don't have sleight of hand, do you?
Okay,
I
wait,
don't
hold
have-
on. I have an idea.
Yep.
Hear me out. And this
All
is
ears.
we're playing a little fast and loose with the rules. But
I love it.
Also, I don't care. So, I have divination.
Okay.
So, and now I'm gonna reflavor this for my ancestry. That
Yes.
I can see kind of like glimpses of. This is a very high level. It's a 4th level spell that I cast, and it says. So here's, as rules is written, it says, a spell puts you in contact with a god or a god's servant. You ask one question about a specific goal, event, or activity to occur within the next 7 days. The DM offers a truthful reply, which could be a short phrase or a cryptic rhyme. I don't like that they give you that power. That makes me sad. So what I want to do, though, is I want to use the Banshee's foresight here
Yes.
to see what will happen. Except what I'm doing it as Isolde is shuffling, I want to see how the hands are going to deal to tell her to stop shuffling at the correct moment. That
I
is a
love
winning
that.
hand for Buttercup.
I love that.
Hey.
I think into the language of this is like, I'm going to say like maybe Isolde has to like say something that like, you know, she's not going to use magic on the cards or whatever, because there has
yes.
to be some trickery in it, right? So
Yes.
Buttercup and Isolde agree not to use magic, but I didn't
Yes.
say it, so I'm going to use my divination.
I promise I use nothing. It's just to make sure that nobody else cheats. Huh?
So I'm going to say that what this will grant you, Buttercup, is you get your D4 that you can roll and add to any die you want, and I'm going to give you an extra +5 that you can add in any way you want to the totals to try to get a better pair.
Okay.
Or even 3 of a kind.
Okay. All All right, so I'm gonna roll the
Okay.
d4 first.
Roll your 3d6 first.
Okay. All right. So first number is a 3. Second
Okay.
number is a 5. Third
Okay.
number is a 6.
Okay, so
And then
roll
I'll
your
roll the
d4.
d4
Yes.
is a 4.
Oh no,
4.
that's a bad
Not
one.
one is the same.
Wait, hold on. And you have +5. So that's +9. So you rolled a 3, a 5, and a 6, and you have +9. You could turn that into 3 6s if you wanted.
Yep. That's what happens. Yep.
Devil's
Fine.
number.
And it's multiple of 3. It's
Yes,
The
absolutely.
rule of 3.
So Isol, you shuffle out the cards to everybody, feeling the guiding presence of Lilith's magic as you're shuffling and you're picking the cards, because you've I'll say that you didn't just shuffle them in your hand, you spread them out,
Yeah.
and we're picking cards from a chaotic pile, and your hand guides you to 3 cards for Buttercup as you give 3 cards to the Leshy.
Mhm.
Well, it's time to show our cards. The Leshy puts down a king. Oh. Then next card he puts down is a 2. And then the third card he puts down is a king. Oh, I'm sorry, my dear. 3
Oh,
kings.
um,
But then Buttercup, you lay down.
but
What?
before I lay them down, I'm like, so I guess I didn't understand the rules perfectly. What happens if you get 3 of a kind?
What?
And then I reveal the cards.
And what 3 cards have you got?
They're gonna be queens, cause
So 1, 2,
Okay.
and then 3 queens.
lesbians.
That is wonderful, my dear.
Let's go,
Absolutely
lesbians!
Wonderful.
I love these chaos lesbians.
Did we win?
Yes, you won.
Oh,
Gift of
Well, that's it.
speech. And as he says this, looking at you, you feel this weird tingling traveling up and down your body. As then a moment later, Whiskers, who is sitting on your lap, turns to you and says, "Do you have any cards?" And you can hear his voice clear as day.
what does it sound like? Is it like a deep baritone or is it like squeaky?
What do you think Whiskers' voice would sound like?
Oh, it's so gravelly. It's
Okay.
it's the deepest tenor.
Hey kid, what the hell?
Hey.
Where them
Husky.
carrots at?
But yeah,
It's-
you now have the ability to speak to your pet Vulpatinker.
I
Oh,
hold
formal
up
introductions.
Whiskers and I'm just stunned staring at them.
I guess we can do formal, leans forward to Whiskers. I guess we can do formal introductions now. And Whiskers.
Whiskers, is there anything you want to say to Isolde?
Can she please keep Nej away? They can be kind of an asshole at times.
Okay. I'll make an effort.
Lily will curtsy to Whiskers and say, "It is a pleasure to meet you."
And Whiskers, I guess, are like, "Oh, it's lovely to meet you too. But maybe stop with the late singing when we're all trying to get to sleep."
Okay, you know what? This may have been a mistake.
So good.
The last she turns around and says, "Well, that was a wonderful piece of entertainment. So where are you all off to now, my lovelies?"
We're still trying to find Kendra.
Kendra, I do not know a Kendra.
She's with Baliana.
Oh, Biljana, yeah, if you just go past that, keep going that way, okay? Past the fairies, and you'll find her. Near the waterfall.
Okay.
Well, I say waterfall. It's really more of a heavy stream.
Okay. Heavy vertical stream.
There's a mound of rocks in it.
Ah.
The fairies joke that it's a waterfall because they're so small.
Ah, d'accord. Okay.
Oh. Right.
All right. We appreciate your game and the gift that we have received.
Well,
It was wonderful to participate in the game. Au revoir.
Bye.
Bye.
Hey, bye.
Bye.
listeners.
Bye.
Neige!
Bye.
Neige, leave the squirrel alone. Lâche l'écureuil.
Neige has a squirrel in their mouth, and they just look at you, and they just like drop their lower jaw, and the creature falls out and runs off up a tree.
I love Neige.
Behave.
Okay. All right, everyone back on the hound. I think Lily has to kind of wrestle Key away from the Leshy.
He's
Oh
getting
my
So
God, yeah.
excited.
Yeah.
It's like when you have a person with like that the dog knows has dog treats. The
Yeah.
dog will
I know.
not leave.
I'm like, come on. But luckily, Key knows the importance of sticking to the path. So he's been trained since ethereal puppyhood. We're good. We managed to wrestle him back.
Absolutely. So you all continue along for a little bit more, traveling along through the woods, and you do feel yourself getting deeper and deeper, and you feel like you're getting closer. You've got this weird, like, tingly vibe of like, yeah, we're nearly there, you know, almost there. And as you're coming along, you find yourself coming along, and the path, it's still extending out, but you notice along the sides of the path, you suddenly see it's flanked by dozens and dozens of different sized and colored mushrooms. Okay.
Okay, as if the other traps weren't specifically for me.
Looking directly at Gnome Anne.
This is why this is on your channel. I see.
Right? Literally. Okay.
Seeing all of these different mushrooms, some of them Lily, you do recognize, some of them you don't. And as you're walking along, you hear a sound of like a whistling noise. And looking, you see sitting on one of the mushrooms this tiny, tiny figure. Okay? So I'm talking like somewhere between 25 and 30 centimeters, 10, 12 inches, okay? Long, silvery white wavy hair, this feminine figure wearing this beautiful ball gown of light green with silver detailing, beautiful round cherubic face, a bright smile as she's kind of whistling and just kicking her feet, dangling
She's
over the side of
small.
the mushroom. Tiny.
Do we have art for her?
I don't know. Did I send you fairy art?
You did. So this
I can't
isn't specifically her, but this is the fairy art.
You get the vibe. You do get the
Oh,
vibe.
it's so pretty. Okay.
Like that's basically her. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, as she looks up at you and says, "Well, hello there. How are you all?"
Hello.
We are well.
decent. We are decent for the type of day we are having.
Really? Oh. Anything that anyone could do to help your day get better?
We're looking for the Biliana.
Yes.
Oh, Biliana, yes. Oh, I do know Biliana. Yes,
Yeah.
yes. She doesn't really like strangers. Perhaps I could introduce you all to her, though, yes?
We're friends of a friend. We're not real strangers.
Wow. If you really were friends, you wouldn't be looking for her. You'd know where she was.
We're friends of a friend.
I see.
The
Well,
friend did not give us the address, okay?
I'm a friend of hers, so I would be a friend of a friend too. I could introduce you all, make the whole thing go more smoothly, yes?
Insight check.
Yeah, their fairies are messing with us, but also they might be able to help us, and it is good to have an introduction.
I know, which is why I'm going to insight check because I have no idea where this is going,
Okay.
Insight.
if I may.
Yeah. I rolled a 24 for insight, but Lily's already suspicious.
8.
I rolled
Uh,
a 27.
Okay, so you feel like
Buttercup.
Buttercup's like, you want more friends.
so the vibe you're getting from this creature is that yeah, they're offering to help, but you feel like it might come at a price.
Mhm.
No.
And what
Um,
would you want in return?
Oh, I just need your name so I can introduce you.
Mm-hmm.
Ah,
Okay.
d'accord.
All right.
Je vois.
And Lily's gonna turn back to the group and she's like, we already met 3 friends. Well,
Yes,
actually,
we
the Leshy
did.
was neither here nor there, honestly. 2.5. I don't think this is a friend.
I mean, and like, Isolde opens her pocket and just shows you the horseshoe. It's like, we could always. Huh?
We could. Hold on. And Lily's gonna turn back. Says, I'm afraid I cannot give you a name, but I could give you a song.
Ooh. That might be fun.
Well,
I love music as well. We could sing together,
do I.
perhaps.
We could sing together for a prescribed amount of time.
And kind of like her eyes glare at you a little bit as you're specifying. I like more free-flowing art. I don't like to be constrained in
Wait,
the way I express myself.
are you telling me that you're not up to the challenge to have free-flowing perfect art in a specific amount of time? It is the challenge of every artist.
Okay, so you can give me a roll. This can be persuasion, intimidation, whatever you want.
let's go with persuasion because I have no intimidation.
If we can at least convince them to do one song, they'll try and stretch out the song, and then we can try and keep it short.
19.
Oh, okay.
Okay, 19.
Wait, I still have inspiration though.
Oh, okay.
So can I roll my d10?
Yeah, of course.
Okay.
I'd forgotten about that.
19 plus 5, that's 24.
Okay, that does change things. Well, that is a challenge, and I do love a challenge.
You know, I've been
Surely a
told,
good artist can do it.
Yes.
and Lily's gonna play to their arrogance as well and say, well, you know, I've been told that my song is the best that anyone's ever heard. I mean, I wouldn't say that, but it's what I've been told.
I see. Well, then in that case, I think we should duet.
Okay.
Should we judge the duet? Are we judging? Pointing to myself and to Buttercup.
Yes.
So,
Okay.
out
Look
of
at the
no,
wonderful big ears that can pick up all the sound.
Yeah,
Out
they
of-
just like twitch like dee, dee,
so
dee, dee.
this one out of nowhere, a tin whistle appears in the fairy's hands, and they jump off of the mushroom. But it's weird, as they jump off, they don't fall. It's like they float down to the ground. It's very ethereal looking. Okay, as they look up at you, and like the height difference is enormous between you both. And because, as I
Mhm.
say, this fairy is around 25 centimeters, maybe 10 inches in height from like their toes to their head, you know, tiny creature. Okay. As she looks at you, says, well, do you sing or play an instrument?
I sing.
Oh, delightful. Well, let us start a tune, shall we?
And Lily is gonna let the fairy start. Buttercup.
The fairy starts
Yeah,
to
before like this starts, Buttercup will move up towards Lily and say, "You've got this," and Tuck like has just a fistful of flowers tucked into their belt, pulls a single Buttercup out and puts it over your ear. And I'm going to use bolstering magic, which lets you add a D3 to your
Oh my
roll.
god. What's
I
a
love
D3? I love that.
D3.
Okay.
So is that a D3 to like any D20 roll?
Yeah, it says whenever you make an attack roll or ability check, add the number to the rolled D20.
Okay.
Attack roll. Screw it. I'm going to allow for a saving throw as well. Okay.
Okay.
I have nothing that I can boost anybody with, unfortunately, but I'm considering giving you the
I am. What I'm gonna do is
horseshoe.
okay. And DM, if you'll let me allow this, I think because of the nature of my song, I have like earplugs with me that I surreptitiously hand to my own party mates. Like,
Ooh, I like.
I like that a lot. That's great. Super. I love that. So
I feel like this isn't the first time, so I think we know exactly what to do.
the fairy starts to play this very jaunty jig on the tin whistle, waiting for you to accompany.
okay. When Lily starts to sing, it doesn't sound like human even remotely.
Yeah.
A note this long should have vibrato, but it doesn't. It's one pure note that doesn't waver or move around it, and it's deep. And then when it starts to form words, it is going to start to not go into the full banshee wail, but take the shape of it. And Lily will start to sing of death. Of the death of the fairies in front of her. She is going to sing them a dirge of their mortality in hopes they end the song.
So this is what happens. As you both start to sing together, the song of the fairies' tin whistle hits you as a magical effect, and you feel yourself becoming compelled to dance to their music. I want you to give me a wisdom saving throw, but because of the use of your banshee lineage in your song, I'm giving you advantage, and because I really hate some of the mechanics of 5e, I'm going to let you add the d3 as well, even though it's technically attack rolls and ability checks. I don't care. Okay, so you have advantage plus a d3.
Ooh, still not great, chat. Okay, that's a 14.
Oof.
Is that including the d3?
Yeah, that is.
Oh no.
Oh no!
So
I might
this,
accidentally drop a horseshoe on the fairy's head.
this is what happens. You see Lily's song hitting, and it's weird. It's like there's almost like a reverberation in the air as the two waves of music hit each other, but the fairy's wave is stronger, and as it hits Lily, her feet start to move and she starts to dance, following the fairy as it's dancing while playing a tin whistle. But you can see in her eyes she isn't in control of this, and there's a look of fear in her eyes. Because you're wearing the earplugs, you are both protected from the music of the fairies dance.
What's the amount of time we'd agreed on?
For
We
what?
didn't agree on time. We said one song.
One song.
So I'm
Yeah.
trying to end the song by singing of things I don't want to hear.
Well,
Using my ability as a harbinger to do so, but they've overruled me. So Lily's
Yes.
gonna look and make like the eyes to Isa
Yeah.
and be like, "Hell."
oh, what are you doing?
I'm going to pull out the iron, and I'm going to try and sneak up behind the fairy and be like, "Excuse me," like tap them on the shoulder, but with the horseshoe. Like,
Okay, give me an attack roll.
an attack roll.
Yeah.
Just a straight 20, or what are we adding?
What would you can use your spell attack modifier on this, okay?
Okay, so that would be a +9. I rolled a 7, so +9, that's 16? Is that what it is? 7 + 9? Yes. 16.
What did you roll? What did you roll? A 7?
Yeah.
Okay, so
+9.
tapping the fairy on the arm, they turn and they look in alarm at the iron as they kind of leap away from you. They're still playing their music. Well, is there anything Isolde Buttercup would like to do as an action, as a further action?
Can I summon a mage hand and like...
Hit the wrong note. Have a mage hand hit the wrong note on the instrument.
Yes! Oh my god, yes!
Okay, so
Summon mage hand, hit the wrong note.
Summon mage hand, and you're doing what?
So I'm having the mage hand basically holds the fairy's hand down on the tin whistle so that the next note doesn't come out right.
So this is what if you don't mind me altering that slightly, for the narrative description, instead you cast Mage Hand, but instead of trying to grasp at the fairy's hand to interfere with their magic, or sorry, with their music, you send the little iron horseshoe token, and it strikes at the tin whistle, and it creates this discordant sonorance as metal rings against metal, disrupting the music and breaking the magic of the fairy dance as Lily is released from its thrall.
I think Lily will then look back and see what they did and kind of do the like earmuffs gesture to the party. And I would like to do a full banshee wail at them.
100%. 100%. You give me a full banshee wail.
I don't know what this would be mechanically, but it's less pleasant.
So this is for chat as well. While nearly all the creatures that are in Hidden Folk of the Feywild are unique fey creatures and magic creatures that you've never seen in 5e before, there are 3 creatures in this book that technically have stat blocks for 5e, but I've included my own because the stat blocks in 5e are offensively wrong. And the 3 creatures that are in Hidden Folk of the Feywild that are based on folklore and not the crap that was produced by Gary Gygax in the 70s are the Tarask, the Goblin, and the Banshee. So, the Banshee in Hidden Folk of the Feywild has a Banshee's wail. So, you give it a terrifying scream. The fairy must give a wisdom saving throw. And fairies aren't that wise. Oh, I rolled a 3. Okay, you scream, okay, giving out this horrifying scream. Now, your 2 friends wearing earplugs and ears cupped over them, they're okay. But the fairy, as it hits it, almost like a physical strike, as it is overcome. Roll 4, you do 4d10 plus 6 necrotic damage.
Holy shit!
That's nuts. I love it.
I rolled really high. Sorry, plus 6?
Plus 6.
The fairy
That's
explodes.
32 damage?
Wow. So this is what
I rolled
happens.
2 9s.
As the wail hits the fairy, a strand of its hair, which was silver, turns to white. As dropping its tin whistle, it turns, fleeing, screaming in terror.
Oops.
Okay, I gotta keep one of them to introduce us. Is there any of them that didn't flee?
It was only one fairy that you saw.
No.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait. I could do
actually-
something here.
Sorry,
Yeah.
can you all give me perception rolls, please?
Yes.
Yes. Ooh, 24.
Oh, no.
Not
Hell yeah.
1.
I rolled a nat 1.
Wow.
That brings it up to a 10?
I know it's an 11 with my things, but Buttercup is the one who sees now.
So Buttercup, you
speech.
with your heightened quinine, so rabbit senses, you hear scurrying of movement as numerous creatures that were hidden in the underneath in the underground suddenly dart, fleeing in all directions.
So what would that mean to a very smart level 10 adventurer?
That there was probably other fairies hiding, and that the Lily's banshee wail terrified them and drove them all away.
Ah, okay.
Okay. Oh, I have an idea. I have an idea.
Yes. My idea is to
I have
bounce
an idea as well.
and just try to catch the fairy out of the midair.
I'm going to say this fairy is. You are fast, but this fairy. Just give me 1 second. Apologies. You go bouncing after the fairy, and you are faster than it. It is fast, but you yourself are faster. However, just as you're about to grab it, you're almost on top of it. It turns invisible.
Quick question.
Yes.
Are fairies words are they immune to being charmed?
You don't know, but this one's just turned invisible.
Because I can cast command.
Well, not on a creature that you can't see.
Can't see.
Ah,
Okay.
fuck.
I think after Lily, I
Lily-
think it takes it out of me.
I will say the fairy's tin whistle is lying at your feet.
Ooh.
I take the tin whistle, and I say, that fairy owes me a debt. We were promised an introduction, and
We were.
sometimes being owed a debt is even greater than being provided a service. And now I have a tin whistle.
Which
And
you
I'm
could
gonna
always
take
trade.
it. I'm gonna take the tin whistle, and then
Uh-huh.
also, like, as payment, to the wood itself, I'm gonna cast Druidcraft and make a bunch of like blossoms appear where I gathered it.
Wonderful,
Love it.
beautiful. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so continuing
so
along
beautiful,
the
Lily.
path, right?
Yeah,
Continuing along,
her sense of decorating is always on point.
It's very plant-based.
you traveling along, you do, after about another 10-15 minutes, hear the sounds of flowing water. You're coming close to a river.
Flowing water. Isn't that what the Leshy said?
You did.
So we must be close.
And
I think
as
so.
you continue on, after another 5-6 minutes, the tree line breaks as you come to the bank of a very large, wide, extremely fast flowing river. Okay? And looking around, you see sitting on the rocks two figures. One, a young human woman, looks to be in her early 20s. She is quite stunning looking. She has long, raven black hair with this soft alabaster complexion and gentle features that make her look almost elven. Okay? She's wearing this beautiful, fine silken dress adorned with floral embroidery around the waistline and around the bust. Okay? And then sitting beside her is another stunningly beautiful figure, looking similarly some sort of elven maiden. This is the Samadiva. She's about average height with a lithe build, wearing this long flowing dress of the finest white silk, and she has the most luxurious blonde hair that's falling to the ground, wearing a ring of flowers around her head, and she has these beautiful, soulful brown eyes that have this faint glowing light to them, this gentle face. All right, and as you break from the tree line, the two women look at you. The human woman, seeing you looking alarmed, grabs at the forearm of the Fey maiden, who slowly and gracefully comes to her feet, looking at the three of you, a questioning look to her eyes.
How far are they? Can they hear us?
These are like, let's say, 20 feet, about 6 or 7 meters.
Okay, so they could hear us. We don't have to yell or anything.
No.
We come in peace. We just wanted to talk.
And the Fey creature speaking to you with this beautiful, almost musical voice is like, "Who are you and who sent you here?"
Okay, so we're three friends in an adventuring party. Hello. But we were sent by someone I don't trust. And somebody who lied about the whole thing anyway. But we do want to talk before we get into further detail, if possible.
And as you're saying that, the human woman says, "She's like, it was the Baron who sent you, wasn't it? That vile beast."
It is, and he looked vile too. Trust. He told us that you were kidnapped, and I immediately clocked it as a lie. Don't worry.
And the Fey's like, "She wasn't kidnapped. She escaped with me. We love each other."
Oh, I believe it. Trust me. When he said that, I was like, are you sure she didn't leave of her own accord? I mean, franchement.
No, and he was like, "My brother, I was to marry him. You see, his family is old. Ours is a young noble family, but what most people don't realize is the Baron, he may be from an old family, but they're a broke family.
Okay.
My
Broke?
family has lots of money."
But
Wait.
Oh, no, go ahead.
No,
Lily's
the
like,
broke
hold
things-
on.
Hold on. Broke. They had very fine clothes.
Lily, darling, fine clothes does not mean that you're rich. You can just
Do you know how much
maintain
I
the
spend
old
on
one.
this silk?
Yes, but your clothes are new. They might be older clothes. They're just maintained.
Buttercup bends down and just starts fluffing out the edges of your dress for you.
I turn back to the to both
Viliana and Kendra and go, I think we might come to an interesting agreement. If the Baron is after a wife, I know someone who's after a husband. It doesn't have to be Kendra.
The Baron was looking to marry a wealthy bride.
She is wealthy in her... She has an abundance of riches. Maybe not the ones he expects, but she's in abundance. Grandma.
Liliana turns to us and says, but what of you? Were you not supposed to bring my beloved back to that monster?
We have our delightful friend here is very good at wording things.
We agreed to bring Kendra home. I thought when we met her, we would learn where that home was.
And Kendra says, this is my home now. Liliana and we'll make our home here.
Well, there we go. Mission accomplished.
I've kept my end of the deal, but I kind of turn back to the group. There's still that 300 gold that I would really like.
Which is why I'm thinking we should find him an alternative bride.
Perhaps
Grandma.
a bride that could be glamored in some way.
Yes. Are you good at glamour?
That's a great question. I have a disguise kit. I don't know if that'll make the cut. But
That might be difficult. Because glamour is not my forte either. And unfortunately, it is definitely not our forte.
But do you know who has a very strong ability in glamour? The Fae often do. And then we'll look towards Biliana and say, we want nothing more than to see you and Kendra happy together here. But in order for us to get the riches that we require in order to have a new lighting setup and a second gown for costume change, we have to bring the terrible Baron a wife. Now, I've kept my word, which is what matters to me most, but I would also like to take his money, which matters to me quite a bit as well. If we could get some aid in terms of helping glamour our willing bride, then I think everyone could leave happy, well, except for the Baron, who will almost certainly be killed by his new bride, but I'm actually fine with that.
As you say that, Buttercup looks down at Whiskers. Has Whiskers ever killed anybody?
Oh, yeah. So, just to put into context for our viewers, the Wuppertinger comes from Alpine folklore, particularly around Bavaria, the Bavarian Alps and the Swiss Alps, okay? They look like a tiny, beautiful little cute rabbit, but with the tines of a deer's antlers, small bird's wings, and long canines. They are a weird thing in that in the
And sometimes duck's feet.
Sometimes duck's feet. But the weird thing is that in the 19th century, German taxidermists used to actually make
We
baked
still do
Wuppertinger.
in Bavaria. They
Oh.
sell like hotcakes in tourist shops. We still sell them.
No, but like out of the actual animal parts. Do they still
Oh,
do that
yeah.
in Bavaria? Oh, God. I
Yeah,
thought that was a 19th century thing. Okay,
Mm-mm.
so...
they
but-
have not stopped. Or
Oh,
they
God.
still live in the 19th century. Depends how you want to look
well,
at it.
Bavaria, yeah. But canonically, the Wuppertinger in Feywild and now in Hidden Folk of the Feywild were inspired by the rabbit from Monty Python's Search for the Holy Grail. Ever seen that movie, you know how dangerous and vile and ferocious that creature was. So Whiskers has definitely killed people.
Whisker will kill again.
I pick
Yeah.
up Whiskers and I look down and deep into their eyes. Would you be open to a mission or a quest? Requires a measure of deception.
Well, I mean, deception's not really my thing, but I guess I could try something.
You just have to be pretty, and then you can eat them after you get buried.
I
Appreciate-
guess.
But I have an actual willing bride.
Oh, I put Whiskers down. Never mind, buddy. Here's a carrot.
Whiskers could be there to help the assassin rabbit that comes with the bride.
You can absolutely help out. It's just, I don't see why you have to marry someone if you're not willing. Okay, so
Eat
pulls on
them.
the earring again and goes, I have a baron for you if you are willing to take a little bit of glamour.
Give me a charisma roll with advantage this time.
Okay. With charisma, that is 21.
Nice.
My maths is so bad, it takes me 2 minutes to get. Sorry.
A baron, you say? Is he virile? Is he handsome?
He's
that.
he's virile and handsome. He certainly has an attitude that would please you. He is not as rich as we had hoped,
Well.
but he's got estates.
Oh, so he comes with land.
Yes.
Oh, land could be good for me, yes. I suppose.
And who
And
knows, if he passes after the wedding night, you can entice more husbands to a big patch of land.
So, as you're having this conversation, the air beside you suddenly drops in temperature, becoming icy cold, as this shimmering form of ice suddenly starts to grow out of the air, and manifesting, appearing beside you, Isolde, is your patron, the Pullabot. Describe what she looks like.
So the Pullabot she's what people, I've heard this back in university, she's what people call a butterface. She's gorgeous, but her face. So she has an absolutely sublime body, despite her age. She's
quite old. She is actually
she's
quite
quite old,
elderly. Yes.
but her body is kind of ageless. Her body is this voluptuous, goddess-like thing that any man and any person into women would have their jaw drop to the floor. But her face is hideous to look at. Which is why she can't find a lover. And she hopes desperately that having someone who will love her will break the curse of the hideous face.
She's also wearing the most beautiful gown that looks to be made of silk and silver thread, and is wearing this fabulous diadem covered with diamonds and sapphires. Lily?
Okay, chat. Okay, I have an idea, team.
Huddle.
Okay. If it's her face that gives her away, but she's got a banging body, right?
Yeah. Yes.
What if we hand her over with a wedding veil? We say that there's a condition of her being released from the Feywild, that she has to get married immediately,
Oh my goodness, I love it.
and that he cannot look upon her face until she is wed.
See, Grandma, I told you, my friends are really clever. This is why I hang out with them. Plus the rule of three.
When you said, Billiana turns, she's like, well, I have this, and she reaches into her folds and she pulls out this beautiful length of shimmering silk lace. She says, would this do as a wedding veil?
It would. Do you have any more? I am hoping to make a new gown. Sorry, unrelated.
Sorry.
Okay.
Lily, one thing at a time.
Okay, but and Lily's gonna be like, but I do need to sew. Wait a second. I'm gonna get my little tin flute, and I would like to try and summon the fairy to help me sew a gown.
That fairy's so fucked.
He owes a debt.
So, what ability, skill, or spell are you using to summon the fairy?
I'm using the fact that he owes me a debt.
Oh,
that I
actually,
have
no,
his whistle.
give me a performance roll.
Can I cast message to the fairy?
What? No, Lily, give me. You're using the fairy's whistle. Give me a performance roll. I'm assuming
I rolled
as
a
a bard.
natural 20, baby, and I got +9.
Yeah. Okay. Right. So, you start playing on the tin whistle, and a few moments later, skipping out quickly through the forestry line, you see the small fairy that you had previously encountered. She
And
looks up at you.
Yeah, I'll say, help us make the. What was your patron's name or title?
Polybot.
Polybot. Okay, help us make the Polybot the most beautiful bride we've ever seen, and I will consider our debt cancel.
On the condition that I get my whistle back.
We'll see how beautiful she is.
Please. And the fairy leaps up out of the air, effortlessly leaping up out of the air, grasps the lace, and in moments, you don't even know where it comes from. Needles and thread come out, and she starts effortlessly sewing so fast you can barely see her hands moving, as within a matter of moments, this beautifully constructed bridal veil has been made. She has taken the lace, rolling it around and stitching it to form this ardent, dense, circular rim upon which to lie on top of the head, with a majority of the fabric falling down the front and then bands coming down the sides and the back as well. It is breathtakingly beautiful.
You have a knife of fashion.
You do. And I give the whistle back. I go, we appreciate this. Consider us having no debts between us.
And the fairy turns invisible.
Okay. And then Lily's going to turn back to Kendra. And it says, is there some sort of token or thing that we could give her so that the Baron will believe it is you?
And she says, well, he did give me this gift of his. Apparently it was an heirloom of his. And she takes a beautiful brooch. It looks almost like those, they call cameo brooches. So it's ivory set into silver. And that she'd be like, he had given me this. I'd kept it because it was pretty, but... And she hands it to you.
I think family heirlooms are perfect.
Okay. Now, one more thing. Whiskers. How do you feel about being a noble steed for a lying bride?
I am very small.
Well, I'm going to cast Enlarge on Whiskers.
That's so good.
Because I think if the idea of her coming back from the Feywild on the back of a rabbit feels just Lori enough that it'll sell it.
On the back of a creepy
and then
rabbit.
Whiskers is on the inside in case she needs help getting out.
Super. Okay, right. So you cast Enlarge. Okay. I mean, technically this shouldn't work because they only go up one size category, but I don't care.
I cast it
Okay.
twice.
I don't care. Okay, I don't care.
We're in the
And he
Feywild.
goes-
Things work different.
Exactly. And he goes from being this small rabbit to this massive creature, like the size of a hippo.
Yes.
Oh, that's so
Okay.
scary.
Does his voice
Oh
get
my
deeper?
God.
He actually does look quite terrifying as he turns to you all and says, well, I guess you should all get on. Hold on tight.
He also gets on Whiskers.
Well, everybody can fit on.
Yeah, including my phantom steed is what I'm clarifying, is that my steed
dog.
also gets on this larger steed.
Sure, why not?
Uh,
As Whiskers, everybody hold on. And with 1, 2, 3 bounds of his legs, he leaps up into the air, his wings extending out, and with a beat of his wings, he suddenly takes flight, soaring above the tree line and flowing, hitting the thermals in moments and traveling, because he's so big, he travels that fast, traveling towards the Baron's estate.
Nej regularly has fun around the Volpatinga, around Whiskers, and just turns into snow and falls for a little bit and then comes back.
Wonderful, wonderful. So
I feel like Key is doing the thing that dogs do when you throw snow at them and they try to like eat it, but they can't.
absolutely. Absolutely. So within about 10-15 minutes, because it's actually only as you are above it, you realize how massive the Shadow Forest is. You had actually traveled extensive distance in the short term here. And it's weird because you feel like, it feels like what to you in the forest felt like a matter of hours looks like several days worth of travel, because the forest is so vast. As you flow along through the air towards the Baron's estate, flying over the surrounding walls and eventually alighting in the grand garden estate in front of the somewhat crumbling house. And having heard Kendra say that apparently his family is very old but doesn't have much money, you're now seeing that. Whereas you'd noticed before a very fine estate that looked like it was
Poorly maintained.
pretty maintained, you're now seeing, oh wait, no, yeah, okay, right. So as you jump off Whiskers and head towards the entrance.
On the ride, Lily's been like writing notes for Buttercup about like what to say and like what the plan is.
Mm-hmm. Right, yeah. Okay.
And every once in a while, I look over Lily's shoulder and go like, no, scratch that. That's fan fiction. For later.
Right, sorry.
You want me to do what? With who? Huh?
Sometimes she's
okay. I'm down.
describing like Lily describing how beautiful the bride is in like too much detail. It's not relevant. It's just like
It's okay. Take that out. Take that out. Take that out. That's for later when you want to write that. Okay.
Oh,
Okay,
I
okay.
didn't know you could describe it like that.
Don't take her example.
Okay.
So, getting to the front doors, you push them open, and the stepping in. A moment later, you see the butler running out to see who's come in, and as he stops and sees you, like, "Oh, you're back!" And
yes.
you have Lady Marlowe.
You were expecting we wouldn't come back?
Honestly,
Really?
I was not sure.
Well, that's
We've brought you the Baron's bride, but I do need to say that there's that he must not look on her face until they are wed. You know how these Fey things are. It's quite strange, but once they are wed, he may gaze upon her beautiful face.
Very
It was the
peculiar.
condition of our return.
It's very peculiar. Well, I will tell his lordship, and we will summon the cleric to perform the ceremony. And if you please come in here. And about 5 minutes later, you see not the Baron Regis Lanworthy, but Lord Kevin Marlowe coming in. As he comes, he goes, "You found my sister," and he goes up to her and he goes to lift her veil.
No,
What? I'm sorry. What's wrong?
it is a condition upon leaving the Feywild that no one could look upon her visage until she is married.
Oh,
Otherwise, she poofs back to the Feywild.
oh no! I see.
And he also tries not to look too satisfied as she's smoking.
No, oh, of course, I understand. Well, thank you so much I was so terribly worried about my dear sister, and I suppose you're going to marry the Baron now, are you, my dear?
She's very well and unarmed.
Okay, and you can tell he's not too crazy about this idea either. You know, well, I suppose you'll be looking for your coin. I can get the money for you.
Thank you so much. This has been a very trying time. It's good that we got to her when we did.
Of course. Well, and he heads out.
Buttercup's just in the back, just chewing on her lips, like not saying a freaking word.
I'm going to cast message at him, and the message sounds like when you have a particularly blustery, snowy day, the way the wind sounds. That's how the message goes through his mind. That's
Okay.
how he hears it. And I basically go, "Don't fear, your sister is well, and just make sure no one objects to this marriage. It will go much better than you think.
He looks around confused,
Trust the process."
looks at you, and then just leaves. All right. 5 minutes later, he comes back with another bag of coin, and he hands it to you, Isolde. As he says, "Oh, I heard the cleric, so the wedding will be starting soon."
Fantastic.
You are all about 10 minutes later. The butler comes in. So please, we can all go to the conservatory, and you're led to this conservatory section in another room. Very fine room with lots of glass instead of walls. And you see the Baron wearing similar but different, but very fine looking. But yet again, you're now noticing slightly old-fashioned clothing of the finest silks and satins, but slightly out of fashion. As you see a balding man in cleric's robes standing there as the Baron sees it, and his eyes alight on the brooch that he'd given to Kendra, says, "Oh, it's so wonderful that you're back, my dear. Please, please, let us be done with this business so we can be joined in matrimony."
Do you need a wedding singer?
She's phenomenal.
Very well, very well.
Yes. I do charge, however. I invoice him another 10 gold pieces for my performance.
Of course.
Okay.
So
But I go
what song do you sing, Lily?
I think Lily is actually, because, okay, Lily is trying to break out of just the funeral market, because, like, she has that pretty locked down. Like, if you need a good wail, if you need a dirge, if you need someone to mourn artfully near a grave or at a funeral, you know who to call. But she's really trying to break into the celebration market. So she's been working on it. I do think it's not as good. Like, I think she's trying. It does feel quite, like, I think it would be, like, I'm thinking like a Catholic wedding is as close as she can get, where it does seem like kind of a bummer musically. You know, but like
Not a musical bummer.
Yeah, I
But,
understand. No, I do understand. Well,
it's
while
like-
the Catholics are closer to God than the filthy Protestants, the Protestants have better music.
well, she has big cathedral energy as she sings. She it's lovely, but that's it's not like a
Is it like-
bouncy song.
Is it like Ave Maria, which is like super pretty but kind of sad
Yeah.
sounding?
That's the energy, yeah. I think it's a traditional wedding song, like whatever the Pachelbel canon is in this world, but it's with the Oda Ave Maria, you know? Like,
Yeah, of course. So
Oh, to Ave Maria.
oh God, singing this, the bride Kendra walks towards the Baron, and then standing in front of him, Kevin having gone up and whispered and pointing at the veil and explains that, and he's looking at me, he's like, and he's like, okay, explaining the whole thing of like she can't be seen until the marriage vows are being exchanged or she disappears. The cleric starts to speak. Marriage is what brings us here together today. As we join these two people in holy matrimony.
As he says matrimony, Lily is gonna start to try and like fade back to the shadows and sort of like try to like quietly gather everyone towards gather the party towards like the exit in case we need to make we might
Back
need to
away
make a
slowly?
retreat. Yeah.
Right.
I did need to have my solo still because some things are priorities, but
To be fair, we never said we brought back Kendra. We said we brought back his bride.
Yes, you did. Lily said brought back the Baron's bride.
Lily adheres to
Absolutely.
the old ways of not lying
Yes.
correctly.
I like it.
So over the next few minutes, the cleric does go through the vows, and they're all passed, or they make their promises, and finally says, "I pronounce you husband and wife. You may kiss the bride." And the Baron, stepping forward, lifts the veil off of Isolde's patron and looks on in horror as he sees this aged and haggard face, which she reaches out with her hands, grasping him and pulling him in for a deep, deep kiss. And as she does, her hair, which was a silvery gray, suddenly shifts and changes in color to a raven black. Her skin, which had been covered in wrinkles and liver warts, tightens up, becoming firm and lush. As stepping back a moment later, her visage has changed from this haggard crone to basically Ava Green.
Oh,
Damn.
oh my
okay.
god. What? Not cool. I can't be related to that patron. That's too hot.
Yeah. As the Baron, looking confused, like, but you're not Kendra. I just, no, but I am your bride, my Lord Baron. And as she dips her head to bow, he now, as he hadn't noticed before, sees the diadem of the platinum diadem of diamonds and sapphires that was perched atop the bridal veil, which he hadn't noticed until she has bowed her head. And seeing this immense wealth, he's like, I'm so happy for my beautiful bride.
So, seeing as we don't have to make a hasty exit, I will kind of sneak up on Polybut and be like, "That mean I get more powers now?" I kissed up my end of the bell again.
Yeah, we will discuss it, but definitely you can expect some interesting new abilities.
Yes, merci.
So is there like a reception at this shindig, or?
Yeah, cake? Do we get cake?
Kevin turns to you and says, so, there is drinks and food. Let us celebrate. And he leads you into the dining room where there's a lovely, fabulous table full of food and drink and carrots. And
Oh, the carrot.
and you have a
Is
wonderful
there carrot
meal.
cake?
There is carrot cake. Okay.
Yay!
I love carrot cake. That's my favorite. How did you know?
Yes, you have a wonderful, fabulous meal celebrating knowing that you have saved this young girl to spend her life with her beloved in the Fey realm, as Isolde's patron has now become a baroness, most likely soon to be a widow.
Yeah.
Lily says to Kevin, I'm so happy to see your sister with her beloved. Like, meaningful wink.
Yeah, and he looks at you and he says, as long as she is happy, that is all I care about.
She's happy, alive, and well. I meant it when I said it in your head.
Wonderful. So,
Let's
folks,
dance!
I think that
Yes.
this is a perfect place to pause in our story.
Yay!
Oh my gosh, how
This
wonderful.
was so much fun!
Hey, chat, beautiful friends. If you've enjoyed this folklore, if you understand how it, like, maybe see us playing through it, how it feels to get those stories that are really wrapped in the oldest tales that we have access to as humans, I highly recommend you check out the Kickstarter that I just linked in the chat. And if you're watching this elsewhere, it'll be in the description. And you can check that out there. And a huge shout out to our incredible cast. I have linked them there. I don't know. Do you want to, our glorious DM, do you want to host sign-offs?
Yeah, let's all tell everybody where you can find us. Starting with yourself, Anne.
Haha, good, because then I can use this overlay that I made. There it is. Okay. Hi, I'm Anne, Gnome Anne, or Anne the Gnome across the internet. If you're here, you already found me. Congratulations. I freaking love folklore, in case you didn't notice. I live for this stuff, and I always try to include folklore in all my things. I think that's really what brought me to the swords and sorcery genre, honestly, is having been raised with these tales of, like, Italian folklore is different. It's not the same kind of rules that are followed by a lot of stuff we're here, but there is some crossover. So this has been an absolute freaking delight. Thank you so much. Who's next?
Lilith.
So, I'm Lilith, she, her. Thank you so much for tuning in and watching. I am a big fan of folklore as well. I'm actually from exactly where the Volpatinga is from, so, you know, the familial links there. Do check out the Kickstarter. It is such a cool project, and I am very, very keen on when it comes out. And you can find me mainly on Instagram at the Lilith Wild or Clara Ridgewood on Blue Sky. Thank you so much.
Okay, Stella.
Hi, I'm Stella Luna on Twitch, Stella Luna TV on all other social media. I'm a TTRPG producer and performer. I do this most of the time, so you can find all my stuff mostly on Blue Sky at stellaluna.tv. And I want to say thank you so much for giving us some insight into the lustrous and deep lore of the fairies and fae kind. This has been absolutely wonderful. I have actually not really had a lot of exposure to various folklore like this, especially from Europe. So this was absolutely wonderful, especially all the little banter that we did like in our session 0 and then during this. Like, I learned so much, and I love all of the art as well. I can't wait to get my hands on the Kickstarter and just add it to my own adventures. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you.
And I suppose you can find me everywhere at Fayearth, where I'm making stories about Fae from all across Europe. If we do hope you come along, support this Kickstarter. It helps me to fund my projects, both in 5e, games like this, my own world Fayearth, and money being raised today is also going towards other exciting projects. In 2026, I will be doing another expansion. I am currently putting together a team of writers and artists from Africa, because in 2026 we are launching a supplement of creatures, magic, and items from African folklore and mythology, made by a team of African writers and artists from across the continent. So supporting projects like Hidden Folk of the Feywild helps fund these other projects, sharing the lore of other parts of the earth.
That's so. And it has all different rules. Oh God, I love folklore.
I love that so much.
And thank you so much for all the raids, all the support, all the kind words in chat. We appreciate you. And with that, we can get ready to have everybody say goodbye. Goodbye,
Bye.
friends.
Au revoir.
Bye. À bientôt.
À bientôt.